Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Yippee-ki-yay, TexAgers. It's freaking football season.
Okay.
I just did that for Nick.
Can you say that again with no music playing underneath it, please? Thank you.
So, like, Nick's redoing the intro. So he goes, hey, if you guys accidentally drop a cool one-liner, you know. So there you go. Yippee-ki-yay, mothers.
See, we were just talking
that could
about...
have been an FCC violation.
We were just talking about my favorite quote ever from Le'Veon Moss about running through somebody's face. And then you come up with that, and I'm thinking, Die Hard.
Yeah.
The connection.
Yes. Did you know that line, Nick? Yippee-ki-yay, mother la-las?
I've heard it.
Natalie, have you heard of that one?
Have you heard of the movie Die Hard?
No.
Oh.
You've not heard of the movie Die Hard?
Never heard of the movie Die Hard?
Oh, no, I've heard of the movie Die Hard.
Have you seen it?
Okay. At the break, YouTube, Yippee-ki-yay.
Educate myself.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
Okay.
And that's what Mike Elko does when he busts through the door. Yippee-ki-yay, it's football season.
It's football season.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go in about 11 days.
Maybe against pros, maybe not. TBD, but I think not. But who knows?
I think not.
But then you got courts.
If you do, it sounds like that the SEC says that the schools are going to be held responsible if they play some of these guys. But that never said that the players necessarily can't play, right?
And Lane Kiffin's like, no, you can't do that, bro. That's not what an injunction, what rules are for.
That's not what my Louisiana judge friend
said. Yeah, that's not what my uncle, Judge Kiffin.
So
I can read part of it, but the SEC is basically going to enforce rules around professional athletes returning to college athletics, not just football. I asked Luke and we have a TexAgs thread. I don't know if you saw that one, and I said, "What does that mean for the G League players all on LSU's basketball team?" And he said they're cooked like barbecue chicken.
Yeah. The funny thing was, just a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about that and how if this happened, I was saying, LSU, I'm hoping that it happens because LSU, so much of their team is going to be, their basketball team is going to be guys, G League guys. And Luke's response then was, because he had a player. A&M's going to get this guy. And I don't care about LSU. I care about A&M. So Luke wants that rule not to be enforced if it benefits A&M.
Mm-hmm. But that's every fan.
But then he celebrates it when the LSU guys. I'm always saying our point has always been we're against the rule, but if the rule's in place where they can play,
you better
go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Not like, I want it to work for me, but not for you.
Right. I agree with you there. Look, but I will give Bucky and his staff some credit on this.
Okay.
And I'll give, they thought ahead. Mm-hmm. If this didn't work out, look what we got here. Is
that really what they were doing? Or was it saying, hey, we got them both?
Maybe it was got them both, but regardless, it worked.
Yeah.
Whatever the end result was, it worked. And we're about to find out if it's going to work for LSU. It doesn't look like it's going to work.
I mean, here's why I'm on that issue, because they signed the recent guy.
Is it from Texas, Jordan Pope?
Yeah, Pope. So if they didn't have an inkling that Bryson,
Warren.
what's the name?
Bryson Warren.
Warren was going to be ineligible. If that wasn't even something that you had to worry about, are you then not going to take Pope?
I think you take as much talent as you can get.
Right.
Yeah. But it just
maybe it was both.
But it just so happened to be like they didn't rely on it to be their entire roster.
True.
And look, at the end of the day, I think we're all for sale when it comes to being fans, because I have yet to see an LSU insider / analyst be like, you know what, they got it right.
How much money would it take for you to be a fan of Texas?
There's not
the Texas, the Longhorn faithful says, come on over. We're gonna. What's your price?
There isn't a price.
Okay, I just want to know if everybody was for sale. I knew you wasn't.
Not for Texas. I might be for sale for something else. Hey now, but not for Texas.
Okay. Anyway, you were talking about LSU.
Yeah. My point is,
how much would it cost you to be a fan of LSU?
Never.
Let me tell you how much it cost me.
Yeah, you had to.
It cost me several.
Yeah.
It cost us, the household, a couple of $100,000.
I don't know what Moscona thinks about it. I haven't seen his tweets. I'm assuming he is like, this is blasphemy. I'm assuming. Yeah. Chris Gordy's coming on the show a little bit later. I'm assuming this is blasphemy.
Right.
Is that the right word for that?
Probably not, but it's okay.
But you're a wordsmith. This is ridiculous.
It's oppression.
It's like prohibition.
Yeah.
But not.
It's prohibiting pros. So in a way, it is prohibition.
Yeah, prohibiting the pros.
Prohibiting the pros.
So let's just, for a moment, pretend this was A&M in the middle of this.
Okay.
All right? And you had a chance to get Le'Veon back, Tyreek Chappelle back, whoever, Torian back. They all are like, you know what? We're coming.
Coming on back.
And then it was taken from us.
Yeah.
Okay? The SEC said, no. We're going to make new rules, or we're going to enforce our real rules. Now, we're going to have it out, and you can't get them. How would we feel?
I don't know if you're going to believe me on
I think
this,
I will believe you.
But I'd say they shouldn't be coming back.
Yeah.
I think I've been very consistent. If you sign a contract, end of eligibility.
Yep. And if you don't believe us LSU fans that are watching the show right now, if you don't believe us Texas fans that are watching the show right now, go back and rewind it. Go to YouTube and watch what we said when Bryson Warren came to A&M. We were excited about it because everybody else was doing it, but we both said we don't like it. We said it that day.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. And we hated the game the way it was and still do. So hopefully these two announcements by the Big Ten and the SEC last year is the beginning of some common sense starting to iron out some of these ridiculous wrinkles in college sports.
Well, maybe they'll grow more stones, excuse me for, being descriptive, and do this for more things. The SEC, like, you know what? We are in charge of our conference. We do enforce rules. So, hopefully, this is a sign of things to come. Whenever they talk about self-governance, hopefully they're like, all right, this is what we're going to be doing. We're no longer going to be at the mercy of what a court says, a judge says in Lubbock or in Baton Rouge. We're just going to do things our way. And you can try to fight us, but these are our rules. We'll just find the coach. We'll just find the institution.
And then they'll find a judge that'll slap an injunction on Greg Sankey and the SEC. I mean, if they can do it to the president.
But didn't the Big 12, if I remember correctly, do the reverse to Texas Tech, right? So they're countermeasures, right? What are you going to do? Okay, you want to play that game? We'll play it too.
Now, let me say this. If I was the ACC and the Big 12 and every other underling conference, I'd be saying, our rule is that anybody can play as long as you're not on an NFL roster.
Right.
Because that's how I get even with you. I start taking in the guys who SEC and Big Ten teams said, no, off of pro rosters, you can't come here.
I think the smart idea is not to upset the SEC and the Big Ten, who hold all the power.
No, you're right there.
And then okay, we could play that game. No playoffs for you.
It could happen. It could happen. Maybe this is going to be one more issue that leads to the SEC and Big Ten breaking off.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily want that, by the way.
I want the quote, what they call super league, super conference, super division that is the major players all playing. I don't want Texas A&M to be in a division that pick an underling, pick one. Baylor,
sure.
That Texas State, UTSA, Troy, has the same
chances to get in.
Influence, right?
Yeah. Hey, I didn't realize people called this show.
You know what? They call on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline.
Bartending. Let's go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Caller, hello. You're on TexAgs.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
From Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline.
He's got it down.
Hey, so yeah, it's kind of like they had to make the rule. I'm not trying to get political, but 10 or 15 years ago, you didn't have to have a rule about who went into the male bathroom and who went into the female bathroom. And it's real simple. Like, why are we having to make a rule that says pro players can't play in college football? And here's the other thing. Yeah. University of Georgia, their athletic director, when Texas Tech tried to get Sorsby to play, he said, we're not going to play him. And we're not going to play him in anything. And I didn't hear any of that in the 24 or 48 hours from any other SEC school. And we didn't hear it with Bediako. And I would even go one step further. Wasn't the Spanish sniper? He played pro ball in Spain, correct?
Yeah. A lot of it's strange.
It's a different.
There's a little difference, and I'm not. It's kind of like
they don't have the same kind of college system.
They don't have college system. But you know what? If they said you can't bring in foreign players, I'm all for it. I don't like them bringing in foreign players on scholarship anyway. Yeah. I always say it takes a scholarship away from an American.
Yep.
But did he play? Did he take money to play ball?
Who?
The Daquan Wright? Yes.
Then he was a pro. Like, I get it that there was a different country, but it's like we don't have to make this harder than it is. Like,
are you talking about Ruben Dominguez? Okay.
But hey, it's fun to talk to y'all. Have a great day.
You too. Appreciate the phone call. If you were talking about Ruben Dominguez, yes, he made money as a pro, but and I don't know enough about it. I probably should do more research, but it's kind of the equivalent of a scholarship dollars, like of what when they play pro. They're not making like millions of dollars. They're playing at a very low level. That is the closest thing to college athletics that they have.
Kind of like a club team,
but higher level probably that. Yeah. So yes.
I don't know, but I can see and that's what Nate Oates was arguing last year. He says, hey, there's players all over the country that have played, got paid. And so Bediako, look, if you went to the draft, if you're playing on a NBA or a WNBA or a G League,
mm-hmm.
You're done. Why is that so hard? Because coaching, all right, I'm going to say it, coaching is not an honorable profession. The college football, they will cheat, and they'll rationalize it by saying, "Well, I have to cheat because this guy's cheating," and they'll try to sidestep every rule. And I'm not saying everybody does. I like to think that Mike Elko is as clean as a college football coach can be.
Yeah.
And I tried to say that very specific. I like to think that. I believe that, but, whoever knows, right?
Yeah.
But because somebody will tell you, let me tell you, Lane Kiffin is
as clean.
And they'll say it with a Cajun accent.
Yeah. Will Brian Kelly do it?
Brian Kelly would try to say it in a Cajun accent. Very good. I almost forgot where I was going there, but
I will say this.
That's why it keeps happening, because the coaches are always trying to. There's not a you find a rule, and this has been proven over and over and over for decades. You find a rule, a college football coaches will immediately begin trying to figure out
the loopholes,
or how to break it.
Yeah. By the way, I gained a lot of respect for Dan Lanning for speaking out against it.
Okay.
I have respect for Dabo for speaking out. That doesn't mean that you're going to win, right? I do like when Coach says, "Hey, this is not right. We don't think this should be happening." I do appreciate that.
Right. Yeah. Again, like in the transfer portal, and I understand why the coaches do it, but you can say, "I'm not going to do this because it's not right." Like Dabo says, "I'm not going to go into the."
Yeah, but now you're losing.
But now you're losing, and now you get yourself subject to being fired. But at some point, don't you have to just say,
which is
right is right and wrong is wrong?
You have to evolve with the times and continue to evolve. In our business, we've had to evolve, or we'd be out, right? And we may be running out of time. I'm just saying. Pretty soon, if they say, David and OB, you have to do dances on TikTok, it's probably time for us to pull a Dan Lanning and say, this is not right.
But we could coach at LSU.
And we could dance and gyrate with athletes. Anyway, Brian Kelly's a good gyrator.
Was that one of the most cringiest things you ever saw?
That's the worst thing I've ever seen. Didn't he do the Adam West, or am I making that up? Yeah.
He was a TikToker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, everybody, guess what? This is TexAgs Live. I know there's this one listener who had to fast forward through this crap. I don't know if you saw that.
Crap?
Yeah. When I spoke to Connor O'Gara yesterday, he said I had to fast forward through the crap when we were talking about this exact topic because he just wanted to hear about Mario Craver and catching passes.
I got you.
But it happens to be the biggest story in sports, but definitely in college football.
Yeah.
Yeah. So TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. In the Rollo Insurance Studio, the Go Hour, presented by the warehouse at
CC Creations.
Right now, we are sitting on a platform. It's got a lot of air coming. It's actually cool. What do we call it?
It's the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. Not just because we're under a draft.
But it is a draft.
Yeah, but because it's cool to make money.
But I heard a rumor that your office is like my office, that it's either 212 degrees or 49 degrees.
Oh.
There's no in between.
Oh, my gosh. I know what it's like to be in a microwave, I think. When I sit in that broom closet that they call an office. Oh, it's terrible.
Does yours get cold too, though? Or no?
Oh, yeah.
There's days
then I'm in the
I'm like, oh,
I'm in the ice box.
Yeah. By the way, you can text us on the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line. Buy any 12-pack and get the second 12-pack free by using the code TexAgs at checkout. It is drinkcatalyst.com. Shall we go around the room?
We shall.
We'll go left to right, through the glass, through the television. Nick Savage.
I think I'm going to use Brian Kelly as a good gyrator in the intro. I think that's going to fit in well. But anyways, kind of like you were...
I'm glad I used the word gyrate.
Yeah, I agree. OB, kind of like what you were, or bouncing off what you were saying earlier, if you were one of those, I guess, lower Power 4 conference like the ACC or Big 12, you would welcome those players in, but most of them have come out and already said that they're going to consider a same type of rule, which you would think means they're going to propose something and implement something like that. Also, I believe a Group of 5 conference has come out and said, I think it was the MAC that came out and said that they weren't going to allow pro players either. So I'm sure everyone will get in line with the Big 12 and the Big 10 and the SEC moving forward. And I want to read the statement for you real quick from the attorney Ryan Downton. I guess he's
Downton Abbey.
Representing the athletes that are trying to come back. He says the SEC's actions put the NCAA in contempt of multiple court orders. It is cartel-like conduct when NCAA conferences attempt to create their own spur-of-the-moment rules in response to courts enjoining those same rules at the NCAA level. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
That's why so many people hate lawyers. Because, again, they're taking something that's common sense and trying to act like it's something. Oh, how dare the NCAA have rules for their own business?
He compared it to the cartel.
The cartel, yeah.
Don't they cut people's heads off? Among other things?
Allegedly, yes.
Yeah, I better say allegedly, yeah.
Heard that.
There's rumors about what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could end up sleeping with the fishes.
You're talking about the NCAA, right?
But I understand. That's why they get paid big bucks. Not everybody can be as good of a lawyer and honorable like Hunter Shurtleff. But when you can, that's why I like to go with people like him.
Okay, I like Hunter. But I have to admit that overall, I have contempt not for Hunter, but for his profession.
But people have that same contempt for our profession, unfortunately.
Yeah, I have it too.
Yeah.
I've mentioned it many times.
Yeah, you have mentioned it many times. Let's go check in.
I have contempt for just about everything, let's be honest.
What about, do you have any contempt for the angry elephant? News and Social Center?
Just that they're all so angry.
But you're part of you go to those meetings?
The pissed off pachyderms?
The pissed off pachyderms. Natalie Martin, hello.
That's a new one. Pissed off pachyderms.
Can we make sure that you have an assignment during the break?
Yes, I know what I'm supposed to do.
Yippee-ki-yay. Do you know how to spell yippee-ki-yay?
I can voice to text.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry.
How do you spell yippee-ki-yay? I know yippee is pretty easy. Ki-yay.
Kai, I would probably say K-I or K-A-I, and yay is probably Y-E-H.
Yeah, I'm more of a yay, Y-E. Anyway, continue. Sorry for the awkwardness.
Yeah, how do you follow that?
Yeah.
Well, to add on to what Nick was talking about, the Sun Belt Conference came out yesterday evening and said that they are going to impose a similar ban on pro athletes.
So many are trying to get into the Sun Belt. But
well, I thought your point was good, Ob, about them trying to take advantage of this and welcome those players with open arms.
Maybe they're afraid the NCAA will then work to kick them out.
I don't know. Yeah, they're already on thin ice and fragile as it is, so maybe that's where they were coming from. But yeah, Nick kind of stole my thunder because I was going to talk about those cartel quotes from Ryan Downton, but why don't I?
Is there any responses to his? Do you have it on Twitter? Because if you have it on Twitter, I'd like to see what people are responding with.
Oh, people are, what do they say? Not safe for work.
Oh,
I got one right here.
Okay.
That is, it says, in quotes, cartel-like conduct to tell professional athletes that they can't play college sports. What are we even doing here?
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
Lawyering.
It's exhausting to go through the Twitter feed and the back and the forth, and all these points that people are making are so outrageous at this point. I think I saw somebody said that if that does happen, then the SEC is going to file a similar lawsuit against LSU that the NCAA did against Tech when they got that judge to give Brendan Sorsby a TRO. So that makes sense to me, and that's where I could see it going. But I would like to lighten the mood with a fun fact of the day.
Let's do fun facts.
So if you've heard of rapper Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. Yeezy, baby.
Yep.
Yeah. Little young Tucci.
His son, Wayne Carter, is a kicker for Gainesville High School in Georgia, and he just received his first Division I offer to go kick for Deion Sanders at Colorado.
Lost interest. Just kidding.
That's our fun fact of the day.
Okay.
Are you a big Young Tucci fan?
Young Lucci? Yeah, but I've never really known him when he was young. I'm a fan of old Lucci.
Yeah.
Look, Lil Wayne, he's a guy with some.
Yeah.
Like
when he was 14, he was shot in the stomach.
In the throat.
I couldn't tell you anything that he's done, but I like him because I think he's a guy that's spoken out about
certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got some bangers, OB. In fact, the go hour is going to be Lil Wayne, if there's any clean versions. He's got a few songs with Drake that are.
And what's his son's name?
Wayne Carter.
Wayne Carter. Big Wayne. Big Wayne Carter.
And most of his albums are called
Carter.
The Carter
1,
4,
2,
the Carter
3,
5. Yeah.
4, etc.
I had no idea.
Yeah. See, the more you
Learn
know.
something new every day.
I'm sure I'll forget.
I got it. I got the new 1775 idea for you, OB.
What is it?
You, a shirtless Lil Wayne, at 1775. He's always shirtless.
So you want me, Hunter Shirtliff, and Lil Wayne?
He could be there too. Yes. All of them. All three.
Okay.
Shirtless Lil Wayne.
Oh, shirtless.
He never wears a shirt.
No, but you can't go into an establishment with no shirt on.
At a 1775, they have outdoor sex.
They do.
Yeah,
they do.
They can maybe. But okay, he'll wear a mink coat. You,
Okay.
Hunter Shirtliff, and Lil Wayne go to 1775. You order for them all. You get to pick one item for each.
One item? Well,
Okay, 2 items for each.
Well, 2 items for everybody gets the succulent brisket.
Okay.
And everybody gets the queso mac and cheese.
And everybody, let's just do more meals.
And then I would probably order some of those amazing pork ribs. And even, hey, while you're at it, can I get some of that jalapeno cheese sausage that's so good? It's scrumptious. Hunter Shirtleff's in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
He's probably a tasty turkey guy.
Tasty turkey guy,
yeah. And I don't know anything about this Little Wayne character.
Oh, but he likes meat.
Oh, does he? Okay.
I'm assuming.
I'm sure he does. Maybe he likes pulled pork.
Maybe so.
They have that too.
Yeah, they have it all.
I wonder if they'd want dessert.
Yeah, they would. They would. In this particular fake story that'll never happen, they want dessert.
Huh. But I wonder if they would have that, what was it that you liked so much that they had? It was kind of like
It was a custard, wasn't it?
I don't know what it was, but it was amazing.
Everything they have is good.
Yeah, everything they have is good.
That's the best part of the commercial where we forgot the dessert. 1775txbbq.com is the website. The phone number, 979-492-6241. OB, it's 1775, baby.
It's good.
Hey everyone, David Nuno here of TexAgs Live. I want to introduce you to the team at Holistic Planning. Got Jason Barber here, Taylor Pankratz, and also Paul Meredith. Jason, I want to start off with you. What really sets Holistic Planning apart from the others?
Yeah, so what makes us different is most financial advisors stop at investment management. On the other hand, Holistic Planning, we manage investments, taxes, and estate planning all on one team, all underneath one roof.
Now, Taylor, when everything is coordinated like that, it really helps the bottom line, doesn't it?
It really does. When your investments and taxes are working together, you stop leaving money on the table and keep more of what's yours.
Paul, Holistic Planning is trying to expand as well.
That's true. We just opened our Houston office, and we're looking for people who feel like their advisor isn't seeing the full picture, because that's exactly what we fix.
And Jason, there's other opportunities beyond that.
Definitely. If you're a financial advisor and you want to join the Holistic Planning team, we're looking to add 50 teams in the next 5 to 10 years. So check out holisticplanning.com/advisors.
All right, so if you want a team that actually coordinates everything, go to holisticplanning.com. Aggies, this one is worth it.
Did I?
Yes. You heard of venereal disease? Yes.
Yeah. You ever had that?
Never. Never.
That's a question you never thought you'd get on.
No, never thought I'd get that. No, never had one. You?
No, I never had it. The test came back negative.
Oh my God.
Nick was asking, can we get a sign?
Yeah, which one does he pick from? Have you ever had a venereal disease or the test came back negative? I'm glad the kids are at school. They didn't hear that. Anyway, the wait is over. The TexAgs app is now available for Android users. Our app combines the TexAgs experience you already know with all the advantages of the native app. Download it today on the Google Play Store. Obviously, we have the iPhone app. Now we have the Android app. So, and you have an iPhone, so you have the iPhone app.
Yeah, I got it. I got the app right here. Look, there it is. TexAgs.
TexAgs. Time for 25 and 25, presented by Paragon Financial Advisors, an Aggie-owned, independent fee-only fiduciary serving families, business owners nationwide. Visit paragon-adb.com. Number 3 on the list.
Well, go ahead, Isaiah Horton. You know what we were just talking about? That guy needs to always be careful because he catches everything. There's nothing that guy can't catch. I've watched him.
Well played, sir.
I watched him through the spring. I watched him through August. I've never seen him drop everything. If it's there to be caught, he catches it. Am I wrong?
On the football field, you're exactly right. I just wanted to make sure I clarified that.
Well, that's what I said through spring. And
yeah.
Am I wrong?
No.
This guy has flypaper for hands.
He does. He changes. I think he changes the offense because you now. Okay, let's replay the Auburn play. You know which one I'm talking about, right? Who was he throwing to there? I'm trying to remember. Was it Mario? I forget.
The interception?
Yeah.
He was throwing to Terry Bussey.
Okay. Terry Bussey, he's
5'10", 5'11".
Isaiah Horton is what?
6'3" to 6'4".
Okay. That's not going over his head like that.
Oh, no.
That's not and that's just one example. But when you did not bring Noah Thomas back, when he ended up transferring, you lost a big target.
Right.
You're bringing in a big target with huge upside who's already done it at 2 programs.
Yeah, he was good at Miami. Last year at Alabama, now they had a lot of receivers to throw to. I don't have his stats in front of me. I think he caught between 40 and 50 passes, probably had around 500 yards, maybe more than that. But I know he led Alabama in touchdown catches. I think he had like 8 or 9 touchdown catches.
He had 8, yeah.
Yeah. So what he gives you that A&M didn't have last year, you were talking about it, he's that big receiver that, go up and make that 50-50 ball into a 60-40 ball, or maybe even better, maybe 70-30. As great as Casey Concepcion was, and we wish he was still here, obviously.
Right.
And he still has eligibility, so with all this thing. But and you definitely lose something big by not having KC there. But at the same time, you add the guy with the quote catch radius, a greater catch radius. He can go up and get that ball over cornerbacks easily. Usually a cornerback's around 5'11" to 6 foot tall, maybe shorter, maybe a little bit taller in some cases. But he's going to be taller and much taller than most cornerbacks you find. But you don't just throw him the jump ball and let him go get it. He definitely can do that. I mean, he runs good routes. I saw him this week catch a back shoulder fade on the sideline where he was well covered. It's a good pass, but he's catching. Again, he catches everything.
Couple stats for you. 17 starts, 44 games, 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns in his career, 1,540 career snaps, 616 yards and 24 at Miami, 511 yards at Alabama with those 8 touchdowns. Basically was catching a touchdown every 5th pass. Like that's how good he was.
Yeah, an outstanding acquisition for A&M. So glad he's here. I think what you said is right. He's going to add a new element. As good as A&M's offense was, and it was spectacular most of last year, there was a missing piece, and it was that big X receiver that can, again, get you he can make plays like anybody can, but he can also make plays that other players can't because he's so big and physical, and he adds a new dimension.
Adds a new dimension. seems to be just like a really great personality. The guys like him in the locker room. Works hard. Everything you want from a Mike Elko transfer.
Yeah. Everything you typically get from Mike Elko.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But this guy has done it. And to me, like, there's no, and he's done it here. Like with Casey Concepcion, I expected him to be great. Maybe not as great as he ended up being, but I did expect him to be great. But there, in the back of my mind, he did it at NC State. Can he do it in the SEC? There isn't that with Isaiah Horton. He's done it in the SEC.
Yeah, he went from Miami to Alabama. And I think he was better at Alabama than he was at Miami. Of course, he was also older.
Yeah.
And he probably had a better quarterback throwing to him. But I think we're going to see the absolute best version of Isaiah Horton. I would bet, I would be willing to go Brandon Sorsby here and bet that Isaiah Horton's going to have the best year of his career this year.
What does that mean? Like,
just look at his numbers.
Just like more yards, more touchdowns?
Yep.
I mean, if you get 8 touchdowns from freaking Isaiah Horton this year, again, which is what he did last year. I mean, you how many touchdowns, can you look up how many KC Concepcion had last year? I'd be curious to see the comparison there, because you get 8 from him again, you get 600 yards. And
KC had 9.
KC had 9. Okay. So there you go. Very similar numbers.
Yeah. But that's just, replacing some of the productivity, right? I'm looking for.
I have a slight alteration to that fact.
Okay.
9 receiving touchdowns, 2 punt return touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown.
From Casey?
Yes, so 12 total.
So special.
So good.
Freaking special.
Well, Isaiah's not going to be returning punts. But yeah, I was talking about receiving. So the best year of his career looks like it was in
Miami.
At Miami, where he's over 600 yards twice. Once in Miami. He had 616 in 2024 at Miami. So I would not be surprised. In fact, I would even expect him
to get 700 yards.
Or at least more than 616. And he had 5 touchdowns that year with 56 catches.
He's going to be a huge target for Marcel. And again,
literally and figuratively.
Yeah. And again, you want to double team Mario Craver, you want to double team Isaiah Horton. Okay, there's ABR and Terry Bussey doing there.
Yeah. It's funny. Rarely can you lose. We've talked about this all off season. Rarely can you lose a player the caliber of KC Concepcion and say you have a chance to be overall better at that position that he left.
Yeah. Which is, I hate saying it out loud.
Yeah, because
I mean, KC was that. It's not it feels disrespectful to KC. That's not what we're saying.
No,
we're saying that the floor has raised from the younger players.
It's the combination of bringing in a guy like Isaiah Horton and returning Mario Craver, but also the expected continued development of Ashton Bethel-Roman, who was so good in the second part of last year, and also Terry Bussey.
Let's hit a break. When we come back on the other side, Natalie, somebody on the chat said that ESPN came out with their top 100 players. 1 Aggie made it, is what I'm reading.
Yep.
Let's double check that and see how disgusting that list is and find out who wrote it so we can reach out to our people. When insurance matters most, who's going to answer your call? That's the Rollo Insurance Group. They build lasting relationships through just dialogue with face-to-face interaction. They are going to be a part of your lives. They're going to know your entire story. You're not going to get a call center or an automated system. You're going to get a person that actually knows your whole situation. They are the official insurance provider of this program, TexAgs Live. The difference is real. They've got 60 offices in the great state of Texas. So whether it's home, auto, business, or ranch insurance, start a relationship with an expert who puts you first. Your agent becomes familiar with your unique situation, and they provide a plan for you that most mass market insurance simply cannot match. That's the Rollo difference. Check out the website, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, or call them up, 888-44-ROLLO, 888-44-ROLLO.
I'm Wes Mangan, and I live on a piece of property with my wife and 2 boys and several animals. I work in oil and gas, and I travel a lot, and so when I come home, it's like my sanctuary. I get to see Lauren and the boys, and it's been just a perfect fit for us, and it's really improved our family time. And this is the first land I'd ever purchased, so dealing with the land side of things and dealing with Capital Farm Credit was super easy for us through the whole process. I definitely feel like with Capital Farm Credit, together we are better.
At Brazos Valley Floor and Design, the Morrow family has helped Bryan College Station homeowners remodel with confidence for over 25 years, backed by the Adore Your Floor guarantee.
When you're ready to update a kitchen, refresh a living room, or renovate the whole house, come see the latest in flooring, from designer carpet to laminate, luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, and tile.
We're 2 generations, hands-on from design to installation.
Brazos Valley Floor and Design, best floor and design since 1999.
And that's a promise.
Gonna miss Dolly. I came late to the party for Dolly Parton. Okay, I appreciated her, but like I didn't really listen. Then I watched the country music documentary by what's the guy, Ken Burns, and they did a whole section on how Dolly got started and the show she did in Nashville spun from that. Then I watched another documentary on her. Just an incredible story. Just a performer, changed the game.
More than that, she was just an amazing person. She gave so much money to charity. Mm-hmm. I read that she's probably worth $6.5 million at the time of her death yesterday, but that she would be well over a billionaire had she not given away so much money that employees that worked at Dollywood, if they decided to go to college, she paid their tuition.
Yeah.
That she just gave so much money to her to people in her hometown and surrounding areas of that part of Tennessee and everywhere else. She had her library and she did so many amazing things without asking for publicity for it. It was just who she was. She's just a wonderful person.
Let's check in with Natalie Martin at the Angry Elephant Youth and Social Center. So I gave you an assignment, which you haven't done yet.
I did.
Oh, you did watch Yippee-Ki-Yay.
I did.
What'd you think? Did it make you want to watch the movie?
I thought he was going to say it with more of like an oomph, but it was more of like a passing comment.
Yeah, I think it was in the 80s.
He was responding to Hans Gruber.
Yeah, Hans Gruber. I feel like I see him everywhere.
He's a great villain.
Yeah, he's in a great accent too. I don't think he's with us anymore.
No, he
fell off the top of the building.
And the Nakatomi
Plaza. Yeah,
but yeah, he did pass away a few years ago.
But that's not the assignment. I wanted you to look into ESPN's article. Who wrote it? Top 100 college football players of 2026?
Yep.
Am I right? Are the people on YouTube correct this time?
Yes, they are.
One Aggie on there, number 86, Mario Craver, and that's it.
Yeah.
First of all, Mario Craver is criminally low
at 86.
At
Yeah.
86.
Now,
yeah.
if you could tell me some quarterbacks that made the list ahead of our friend Marcel Reed, I'm just curious. 'Cause this is good. This goes in the book.
So we've got Byram Brown.
Really good.
Coming in at number 88, and John Mateer coming in at number 89. Probably the most surprising, Sam Levitt at number 37.
Levitt was good at Arizona State, really good a couple of years ago. I think he's a good quarterback.
I think he would be in the top 100 for me. I think.
Yeah, I agree. But
what's the big knock on John Mateer? Now, look, John Mateer put up insane numbers at Washington State playing against a really weak schedule.
Yeah. He throws interceptions. That's the big knock.
That's the knock on Marcel, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Mateer had like 11 interceptions last year, maybe 10. He threw a lot of interceptions, my point. So
didn't he play one less game?
He threw 11 interceptions.
In one less game, I believe?
I think they played the same number.
Did they play the same? Oh, he had the bye week. That's why he was able to come back.
My point is that I think, and people can say, well, he hurt his thumb. They played him and he threw 38 passes and he continued to play. I think that was I'm sure his thumb was a problem for him. But
sure, but I mean, it's all part of the evaluation. It's not like
I would take. Call me provincial if you want. I would take Marcel Reed over John Mateer.
I'd be curious how many Texas players are on that list. How many LSU
probably
players?
about almost a half dozen Texas
players.
Explain this to me.
Arch, they're going to put Cam Coleman. They're going to put Wingo.
They have Arch at
they have that linebacker
13.
from Pittsburgh.
Arch at 13. Hollywood Smothers, the running back, is at 47. Cam Coleman at 15. Texas linebacker Rasheem Biles at 44.
Goolsby's probably going to be in there.
Goolsby was in the top 10, I think. Let's see. It's a lot of scrolling. Hundreds a lot.
I guess my question is for the panel. I've read that A&M has amongst the most talented football roster in college football.
Yeah.
Like, I've read that. But all these lists have them underrepresented. Like, there's one Aggie on that list who almost had 1,000 yards last year with another receiver next to him that almost had 1,000 yards, with a quarterback who was a Heisman contender until the last quarter of the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell, bro?
That's fine. I love having the stealth quality, right? Yeah. The thing I don't get, and I'm not a Arch Manning hater. I actually like the kid, and I think he's good. But to put him at the 13th best player in the country?
Who wrote this again?
It doesn't say, it just says ESPN.
Oh, yeah. Mr. ESPN.
Mr. ESPN himself.
I'm not necessarily mad, or I'm not mad anyway. I don't question that he's a top 100 player if he says, okay, but 13? Did we watch the whole season last year with Arch? Did he have some? I mean, when he played A&M, he completed less than half of his passes. Now, one was for a touchdown on a bust, and he found the guy, so give him credit for that. But
yeah, look,
I don't get that. 13?
That's all right. You know what? Just go prove them wrong. That's it.
That's true.
At the end of the day, just go prove them wrong.
I will add, we've seen that all the 5 stars and all the individual talent in the world can be on the same roster, like in the Jimbo era, but it doesn't necessarily dictate success.
No.
So I think it's more about the whole unit and the leadership and the culture, which I think are some things that we know for a fact A&M has.
I think I don't think I'm being, again, provincial. I don't think I'm looking at this through maroon glasses when I say that ESPN seems to me, always props up Texas guys no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, they're always, so why would I be surprised? Maybe these guys really are that good, and maybe they're going to have that championship caliber season or championship season, but
they better.
It sure seems, yeah. If you got, 6 of the top 100 players in the country and you don't win it, then Ohio State better have 7.
A moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. Your trade-in has value, and at Caldwell Country Chevrolet, they're ready to put that equity to work for you. They have a pre-owned inventory that moves fast, which means they're always looking for new vehicles to add to their lot. Bring in what you have and let their experienced sales team tell you what it's worth. They've got decades of combined experience. They know how to structure a deal that makes sense for you. And don't forget, every purchase comes with that free oil change for life. No games, no gimmicks, just honest deals from people who treat you like family. That's the Caldwell Country way. Remember, it's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. Short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the good people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com.
Everybody, David Nuno here from TexAgs, here with some of our new friends from Frog Slayer. We've got the CEO, Ross Morrell, and the VP of Revenue, Jacob Stone. Ross, I want to start off with you. Who is Frog Slayer? What do you all do?
Yeah, Frog Slayer is a custom software, AI and automation company. We're based here in College Station. We've got about 50 employees right here, almost all Aggies. We've been doing this since 2005, about 21 years. Really what we do is we partner with business owners of growing businesses. And our goal is to come in, help them actually realize the promise of technology in their company so they can create a company that is worth more than it is tomorrow, that is today, and run a better business.
Jacob, I do want to ask you, what's different about Frog Slayer's approach when it comes to AI?
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't just do AI, we do AI right. And so what that means is we embed ourselves inside of our client's team, and we help them plan, build, and ship solutions that they can deploy to a production environment that anyone can use.
All right, Ross, I've got to ask you, why the name Frog Slayer?
Yeah, it's an old riff off Mark Twain quote. So he said, the hardest thing you got to do today is eat a frog. It's best to do it first thing in the morning. So that's kind of our ethos of doing hard things first. And it's also a nice tie into gigging.
Yeah, I love that. Jacob, let's close out. Where can we all find Frog Slayer?
Yes, you can find us online at frogslayer.com.
All right, thank you very much to both of you, Ross and Jacob. Check out Frog Slayer.
So the team in the back decided to come up with a game for us to play. Kate Bickham, Kayla Gaither came up with a game. It's called what's the right way to phrase it, Natalie?
Is it Elko mic'd up quote or Lil Wayne lyric?
So,
Okay.
All right.
Elko
So you're
quote or Lil Wayne lyric.
I'm going to read the quote and you're going to tell me who you think it was.
Okay.
Elko or Lil Wayne?
Okay, let's go.
I speak the truth, but I guess that's a foreign language to y'all.
Lil Wayne.
Elko.
Lil Wayne.
Okay.
No.
Does Elko have to do this?
You got to grab stuff.
Okay, next one. No wonder I got no effing hair left.
Oh, that's got to be Elko.
It's got to be Elko. Yeah.
Yeah, Lil Wayne does have hair, so that is
Yeah. All right.
kind of a giveaway.
Let's go.
All right. The F-bomb you celebrating for?
I'm going to go to Lil Wayne.
And that sounds like something Elko would have said. I think it looks like I'm going to be going Elko all the way down.
This one was Elko.
Ah! 2-2.
Should we call him Little Elko?
Maybe. New nickname alert? I don't know. All right. That boy got a
Loco.
head on his shoulders.
Say that again, sir.
That boy's got a head on his shoulders.
No,
I'll knock it off.
That's Little Wayne because I tell you why. It's the third word in that is what tips you off.
Okay, say it again.
Elko went to Penn.
Yeah, this is
he
true.
knows how to speak.
That's fair. He also tends to refer to his players as men.
Yeah, also grammar.
I'm going to agree. Well, that's why I got the first one right, by the way. Lil Wayne.
That one was Lil Wayne.
Okay.
All right. When I'm on the mic, yeah, we good. I'm fully protected.
That's Lil Wayne. I can't imagine Elko saying
Incorrect.
Really? Elko
That
said
was
that?
Coach Michael.
Wait. Say that again?
When I'm on the mic,
It's
yeah.
maybe the way you said it.
No,
Yeah.
word for word. When I'm on the mic, yeah, we good. I'm fully protected.
Huh. I wonder if he was like grabbing his crotch
Couldn't
when
you
he
see
said
Lil
that.
Wayne saying that? When I'm on the mic, yeah.
That was the point. We
I could
tricked
see
you.
Elko saying it must have been when he's at Rudy's.
I don't know.
But I think Coach Elko, I mean, he's from my era. We're the same age. I'm a little older. We listen to the same music, so he could probably just say
I
it.
bet he listens to some classic Lil Wayne before that tunnel walk.
Maybe
out
that'll be
to
the
get pumped
question
up.
tomorrow. to
No
ask him.
doubt Coach Elko listened to a little Fat Pat, a little UGK back in the day.
That is a good question for the next presser.
Yeah, you should ask. I'll give you a bunch of
No, I
rappers
won't
to
be
ask him
there.
about.
I won't be there.
Oh, yeah. I'll just ask him about some rappers. I'm
Yeah,
sure
you
that'll
do
go
that.
over well.
There's one more.
All right,
One time.
let's do it.
I'm more animal than the zoo allow.
No, that's Lil Wayne.
Yep. You
Watch
got that
Elko
one
open
right.
up his press conference with that next time. All right.
That would be awesome.
Opie, thank you. Natty,
Yeah.
thank you. When we come back, Chris Gordy. He roots for LSU. He's an SEC insider. What will he say? That's next. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's go to the Puppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline, joined by our buddy Chris Gordy, Locked On SEC, iHeartRadio in Houston. What up, Gordy? How you been, buddy?
What's going on, David? It is week 0, just days away from kicking this thing off, man. This is awesome.
All right, so I got a question. I think I know who you root for in college sports, I think, okay? But you don't really show that when you talk, so I'll give you props on that. Everybody knows who I root for. I don't hide it anymore. So, what do you think about this whole NFL player preseason, back to college, LSU in the middle of it all? Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, like, I went to LSU. The further I get away from having graduated and cover, I mean, this is my 6th year of doing Locked On SEC, and it's funny, I even posted a video from in college, doing some SEC stuff 20 years ago. So the further I get away, the further, I could separate fandom from, obviously going to LSU. But yeah, look, I think most LSU fans I talk to kind of understand what they got into when you get Lane Kiffin. I mean, he's a guy that he has earned his reputation. Like there's no defending him really, with all his history of bad divorces and everything else with teams and schools that he's been. And obviously he draws attention. Now I do think sometimes it's unfair criticism, but it is what it is. He's a lightning rod, and this was one that I kind of thought. And look, they're not the only school that was trying to get players from, that went to NFL training camps. But I understood the argument of these kids a lot of these kids just finished their 4th year. They thought it was their last year of college. They played 4 seasons of college football. And then the NCAA comes out a month later and says, oh yeah, we're moving forward. Everybody gets 5. And so I understood the argument. Like, these kids are kind of like, in the argument, like, they went to the draft. Well, yeah, they went to the draft because they had no other option. They thought, eligibility was exhausted. And then the NCAA comes back a month later and goes, no. Actually, all the guys moving forward get 5 years. So I get that argument, but I take myself out of it all, Dave, and I say, you can't go back to school. Like, it's just that, what are we doing here? Like, I think we've lost our minds with a lot of this stuff, and I think fandom kind of blinds a lot of us. I even think Trinidad Chambliss, again, great story, but at the end of the day, I don't think he should have gotten another year. Like, he was at Ferris State that year, whether he had tonsillitis or whatever. He didn't use a medical red shirt. So there's so many of these things that I think are just, again, when it's our school, we're defending it to the fullest, and oh yeah, of course this guy should get a year. This is crazy. I think we need to take a step back and say, any guy who went through an NFL training camp should not be able to go back to college, period, end of sentence.
What do you think about the way the SEC handled it, their statement, the way they'll go after coaches, universities? And is this a sign of things to come, of the self-governance model that we've talked about for a little bit?
Well, I think they're a year behind. I mean, like, everything the SEC has done, I've given Greg Sankey props for years as commissioner of the SEC. I think he's been great. I think the last 2 years, the Big Ten has been governed better. I think Tony Petitti's done a better job of getting ahead of things. And look at what just happened the past few days, David. The SEC puts out a statement that says, we don't agree with it. But there was nothing behind it. They just said, yeah, we don't like this. What does the Big Ten do the next morning? They come out and say, we are making a ban. No players who went to NFL camp could come back to school. And so about 12 hours later, the SEC comes out, yeah, we're doing the same thing. It's just like, man, like, the SEC used to run college football. They used to dictate the terms. The past 2 years, it's been other conferences dictating the terms, and Greg Sankey and the SEC are playing catch-up. So at the end of the day, I like what they said. I do like that they included NBA and G League in there. That solves the Charles Bediako mess. Any player who, had a cup of coffee with the G League, if you signed any kind of professional contract or agreement, or you appeared on a roster, whether it's semi-pro or professional, you can't go back to college. And I will say, too, I do like that they called them in these statements college athletes instead of the very old school student athletes. Nobody today, David, calls any of these guys student athletes. They're college athletes, and a lot of them are getting paid. Again, I agree with the SEC statement. I just think, man, they are so behind here. They could have done this a year ago, David. They could have put out a year ago and said, hey, we understand there's going to be some lines skewed here with NIL and everything. We just make it clear nobody can go to the pros and come back to college in any sport.
So what do you think happens next? Does LSU counter? Does the SEC go to court? Like, do you think it is what it is, it's done, and we're moving forward? Or do you think there's going to be
an act two, if you will.
Well, attorneys, and by the way, that's who the bad guy is in all this stuff. It's attorneys. It's not the NCAA. It's not the commissioners. It's not the student athletes or college athletes. It's the lawyers. And lawyers get paid very well to go fight for stuff. And you saw the statements last night. Oh, this is unacceptable. We're going to fight for this. And it's just like, man, let it go. Like, let it rest. Like, Daquan Wright can go try to earn his way onto a practice squad somewhere. Maybe the Browns would have considered putting him on their practice squad. Who knows? But I just think this is all absolute ridiculousness. And honestly, I think Lane Kiffin and LSU should turn the page. I think they should be focused on getting ready for, Clemson. And, the weird part about it too, David, is that they picked up a fifth-year guy from Notre Dame, a defensive lineman that, he wasn't going to the draft. He wasn't NFL material, so he gets to come back. South Carolina picked up a fifth-year DB from App State who wasn't NFL material. So it almost sucks here. Like, if you weren't NFL material or didn't think you could go into the draft, you can go get your fifth year somewhere else. But if you happen to go through the draft process, you don't get your fifth year because you went to the pros.
All right, last thing about this topic before we go around the SEC and just talk college football. What do you think happens with the LSU basketball team? I'm not completely familiar with the roster makeup, but my understanding is they got some guys on there that really should not be eligible now.
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. I've been trying to follow it, and it's been craziness. You have R.J. Lewis, who was a guy that played with the Celtics, I think in their G League, and he just got ruled eligible like 2 days ago. The Louisiana court said he could play, and there's a picture of him hugging Will Wade. Well, then apparently with this decision from the SEC, he can't play. So I don't know, man. Then they announced last night they got another international player. So the line has been skewed on a lot of these cases, and I think it's going to probably come down to the start of the season on who's eligible and who's not. A whole nother part of this, too, is somebody pointed this out. This is the SEC making this ruling, but if a judge in a Louisiana court makes a ruling, that's not just an opinion. Like, it's a ruling that people have to follow. And so does Greg Sankey and the SEC lawyers have to go to war with some of these kids? It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. But yeah, as I saw somebody say last night, David, I'm done following this stuff. Let me know when the ball kicks off or the ball tips off, and whoever's on our team is on our team, and we'll figure it out from there. The one clarification I did get too on all this is if a guy plays and then he's ruled ineligible, they're not going to vacate wins or anything. It's just like Charles Bediako last year. The 5 games he played for Alabama, those counted. He was ruled eligible, then he was ruled ineligible. The games he played, he was eligible in. So if this were to happen with somebody in mid-season, we're getting rulings, those guys that you wouldn't vacate wins or anything, those wins would count.
Yep. Can courts actually stop the conference from fining a university and a coach? Like, you can let the player play, but these are our rules. You'll have to pay a fine for this.
That's what somebody brought up last night. They said, say Lane Kiffin says, I'm going to play Daquan Wright, and he puts him out there and they play. Greg Sankey then can punish Lane Kiffin. He can't do much with the kid. All right, you can play him, whatever. He's ineligible, but we're now going to suspend Lane Kiffin. That's how the SEC is going to rule with this. They're going to punish the coach and the university as opposed to the player.
Talking to Chris Gordy here on TexAgs Live. Chris, I didn't go and make a list of the 100 best players in college football. I don't have the time for that. It's just not what I do, right? I don't watch everybody. I watch the SEC and whatever else I can consume. ESPN came out with their list. One Aggie is on that top 100. Mario Craver at 86. Just saying it out loud feels ridiculous to me. But, again, I haven't written out the list, so maybe that's not a fair thing to say out loud. But I've read, I've seen everybody say A&M's got one of the top 10 rosters in college football. How can you have one of the top 10 rosters in college football and not have more than one guy in the top 100 players in college football? And, oh, by the way, Marcel Reed doesn't make that list. And say what you want to say about Marcel, he was one of the top 100 players in football last year because he was a Heisman contender until the fourth quarter of the Texas game.
Yeah, it's just somebody not doing their homework. And that's kind of the theme of where we are in the year 2026 when it comes to sports journalism, period. Like, I do this every year at SEC Media Days, and I cover the whole conference. When we get that ballot to fill out for SEC Media Days voting, dude, I take about 2 hours. Yeah. I sit down, I write stuff out. I mean, because you got a name like O lineman and D lineman and special teams players, and I put some thought into it. A lot of people just don't put thought into it. They just pick who they know, and that's it. And I feel like that's kind of what you get with some of these lists when people do, here's my top, here's my ranking of SEC quarterbacks, or here's my top 100 players. They don't do their due diligence. You got to do the work. You got to do the research. And any list of top 100 players for this season, David, that doesn't include Marcel Reed, I completely dismiss. I would completely check it out the window. That's absolute ridiculousness. I think Marcus Ratcliffe deserves to be on that list. I could even make a case. Maybe he's 101, but Reuben Owens, look, I've just loved the kid since he came out of high school, so I can make a case for him. So yeah, there's dudes up and down A&M's roster. I think Anto Saka is going to be a guy that maybe people don't know yet. You're going to know him very quickly if you're an SEC fan. So yeah, again, if I'm an Aggie fan, maybe I take it as disrespect, but just throw it out the window. It's got no credence in my world because it's somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about if they only have one Aggie in the top 100 players.
Chris, people don't do their homework, which is true. And people who do their homework don't know either. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know enough about Texas A&M to be able to accurately predict what's going to happen. And that's not a shot at anybody. But with the way college football is now, with the volatility of rosters where you're bringing in 30 to 50 guys every year, right, with your freshmen and your transfer, like it's just hard to predict. So and our audience is going to be sick of me saying this, but I just go based on reputation, right? And when I say reputation, I don't just mean university reputation. I'm meaning head coach reputation. There's a reason Kirby Smart wins all the time. There's a reason that Lane Kiffin gets excellent results out of every offense he touches. So I base it on what I think the coach does as I'm trying to evaluate programs. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's a good perspective to have. I think Mike Elko has already proven he is one of the best coaches in college football, and as time goes on, we'll see where he ranks. Now, I will say, and this is just my opinion, I was not a fan of the promotion of Holman Wiggins. I thought when they went out and got Colin Klein, he was a young offensive mind with fresh ideas and all that. And I thought that was a great hire. And now he got rewarded for it. He's off to be a head coach. I thought staying in-house on both OC and DC, I don't think DC would have mattered very much just because Elko's got such a hand in that defense still. So I think they'd be fine with whoever's at DC. But I just thought OC, they should have maybe gone outside and grab who's the next Colin Klein, who's the next young up-and-coming offensive mind. And look, I'll eat my words. If Holman Wiggins has this offense, rolling and Marcel Reed looks even better this year and all that, I'll eat my words. That was the one hire this offseason I kind of said, I'm maybe not the biggest fan of it. Now, who's to say? I mean, does that mean the Aggies, everybody, David, is nationally saying, I think the Aggies take a step back. But everybody's take a step back is 9-3, 8-4. So it's not like they're going 6-6 and falling off the face of the earth. They're still going to be really good. I think just what most people are realizing when you start to look at these schedules, you go, everybody in SEC's got a brutal schedule. That ninth conference game was not a great idea from a competition standpoint. It's a great idea from a money standpoint, but from a competition standpoint, it's brutal, man. So that's kind of where I am on the Aggies. Again, I still think it's going to be a great year. But again, 9-3 after making the playoff a year ago and maybe missing it this year, nobody's going to throw a parade for that.
Yeah, and by the way, on Holman Wiggins, I understand the questions, but this guy was considered the next up-and-coming guy. He has, been the co-offensive coordinator. He has earned his time, and I think he's got a great relationship with not only Marcel but those wide receivers. So I'll say one other thing about that. Coach Elko, so far, all his hires have worked out. Like from Moffitt to you name it. I mean, all of them have worked out. So that's until he makes a mistake. I feel like, all right, I'm just going to trust Coach Elko. He thinks Holman Wiggins is a guy. I do too. Let's go.
Yeah, the only, and I don't want to completely parallel it because it's a little bit different, but last offseason, I remember South Carolina had an OC opening, and they went to Lenore Sellers and were like, who do you want, man? Man, Coach Shula, he's an assistant on our staff. I'd love if Coach Shula could be our OC. And it was an absolute disaster. So, again, I'm not saying it's going to be that bad, but I'm just saying sometimes when you default to the in-house guy, it's not always the best move.
Yeah, and sometimes you hit a grand slam. So that's hopefully what we see from Texas A&M. What about LSU this year? We talked about them from this whole roster standpoint. I made the comment that maybe Lane isn't as happy with his roster, which is why he's willing to experiment and bring these NFL guys in. I was quickly corrected from Billy and others, like, no, just coaches want the best players they can get. How do you think Lane feels about his LSU roster without the NFL players?
Yeah, I think a few things here. I think, look, Trey'Dez Green is the best tight end in the SEC, maybe even the country. So they didn't have an obvious need there for Daquan Wright. Now, I was told by somebody they're going to move him all around the field, that he's basically a wide receiver. So they were going to, in a perfect world, you kind of did have a hole there at tight end. You could have slid, Daquan Wright in at tight end and put Trey'Dez Green out wide. In not getting Daquan, they'll just play Trey'Dez primarily out of the tight end spot. That's fine. In trying to get the D lineman from Ole Miss, they lost Gabe Relaford in the spring, one of their D linemen that they were hoping that was going to take a big step this year. He went down with injury. So I think, people might look at it as Lane's always desperate. He was trying to fill a couple of needs of where they had injuries and voids, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad team and a bad roster. But I think this LSU team, more than any other year, we have no idea what we're getting. I mean, in years past, David, you had wide receivers on the roster. I mean, when you added a Jaden Daniels, you knew you had Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. Like, you had dudes. This LSU team, it's an entirely new wide receiver room. Like, I don't know if any of these guys are going to be good until they get out there. Sam Levitt, I mean, again, your guess is as good as mine. He looked great 2 years ago at Arizona State. Didn't look so hot last year, and again, was battling injury. So, yeah, I'm all over the place, and you've seen predictions all over the place. I mean, I've seen people that have LSU going 10-2 and making the playoff. I've seen people that think LSU's going to go 8-4. I think one of the bowl projections I saw yesterday had them going to the Citrus Bowl. So it's until we see it out there, again, the schedule is tough. Clemson is not an easy game to open with. They're not going to come in to Death Valley and just lay down and die week one. Dabo Swinney's a good coach. They're going to put up a hell of a fight. The week 3 game at Ole Miss is brutal. You get Bama and Texas at home. You got to go to Tennessee. It is A&M comes to Baton Rouge again. So it is it's a brutal schedule. And so I think for a lot of this, David, across the SEC, it's just going to be a week by week result to figure out who's really good and who's not. But the days of 11-1, 12-0 running through the SEC, those are gone. There's a reason why the Vegas odds are putting, Texas and Georgia at 10-2 at best, because I think it's impossible to win 11 games in this conference these days.
Talking to Chris Gordy here on TexAgs Live. All right, Chris, what about Alabama? That seems to be a team that most people have no idea what to expect from as well, because Kalen DeBoer, people hate him. They won a playoff game, but they got Keelan Russell now as their starting quarterback. Their offensive line wasn't very good. They couldn't run the ball. They've made some changes. Where are you on Alabama?
Yeah, to me, and I hate to put it all on the young kid, but to me, it's the epitome of how good is Keelan Russell. I mean, this is a kid that was, a true freshman last year and barely played, but was one of the top recruits, that Alabama's ever had come into Tuscaloosa. And so, can he elevate them? Can he make plays with his arm, with his legs? I think the offensive line is still a work in progress. Bama's going to have to figure that out. The run game was absolutely brutal last year. They think it's going to be better this year. But just because you commit more to the run game doesn't mean it's going to get better. So, yeah, I'm kind of, I look at Alabama and say they're not Nick Saban's Crimson Tide yet. I think people still are thinking that way. People are still, they look at the logo and they go, oh, Bama, yeah, they should be in the playoff. And it's like, man, I think this is going to be a transition year. I think this is a year that you get Keelan Russell get his legs under him. But I think it's a 3 or 4 loss season for Bama. I think this sets up, though, for 2027. Where you'll be talking Keelan Russell will be a preseason Heisman candidate. Bama will be a preseason top 5 team because they're going to bring a majority of this team back next year. So Bama fans may not want to hear this, but I think this is a transition year where you're trying to get your young guy, including your quarterback, get his legs under him to build for the future.
Gordy, you just went through A&M, LSU, and Bama's maybe 3 or 4 lost teams, which is incredible to say out loud considering what we think about those programs. Is Texas a potential 3-loss team or 4-loss team?
They are simply just for the schedule. Now, I don't think they'll lose that many. I do think they'll pull some of these out. Again, I'm an Arch Manning believer, so I think he's going to elevate his game. I think the Will Muschamp hire is going to prove dividends on the defensive side. But I've said this offseason too. If it doesn't, I think there's a world where Sark gets fired. I mean, if they lose 4 or 5 games this year, I don't think Steve Sarkisian survives the year in Austin. So we'll see how this plays out. But I certainly, like somebody asked me who, if you had to pick two teams you believe in that you think are locks to make the playoff from the SEC, it's Georgia and Texas. And we've seen it from the media voting and everything else. I mean, Georgia's the safest bet, 65-7. Since 2021, Kirby Smart. I mean, it's silly. They've won back-to-back SEC championship games, and yet nobody wants to talk about that. It's all about they lost back-to-back Sugar Bowls. Okay, great, but they're one of the toughest conference out there. So Georgia will be back there. I like Gunnar Stockton. I like the pieces they've added. Again, Texas, it's all going to be about they got to get that win over Ohio State week 2. They win that one. Again, you buy yourself 2 SEC losses along the way. It is a tough schedule, but I think they've done enough with adding Cam Coleman and this offensive line. I think is going to be good. We'll see with Gooseby how much time he misses at left tackle, but that's where I am right now. Georgia and Texas are the 2 best, and Oklahoma is kind of my dark horse team that I think can disrupt some things.
Chris, I appreciate your time, brother. We'll talk again.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it, man.
Chris Gordy there, iHeartRadio and Locked On SEC on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with more. Right now, when it comes to financial advice, independence matters. Paragon Financial Advisors, they're an Aggie-owned and operated independent fee-only fiduciary firm. That means that their recommendations aren't influenced by commissions or proprietary products or sales quotas. So whether you're managing family wealth or growing a successful business, their team helps clients make informed financial decisions with comprehensive planning and disciplined investment management. For many years, that means developing strategies not only how to grow a business, but also preparing for one of the biggest financial events of their lives, the eventual sale or transition of that business. Visit paragon-adv.com to learn how independent advice can help you prepare for what's next. Paragon Financial Advisors, Aggie-owned independent, serving clients nationwide is Paragon Financial. Hey friends, David Nuno here, talking to my buddies. I got Sheldon and Danny Shelley of Aggieland Hydration. Sheldon, I want to start off with you. What is different about Aggieland Hydration?
So we're a 100% mobile IV company. We are opening a storefront later this year in Bryan College Station, but we come to you, and we have about 10 nurses that serve the area.
Danny, what's one thing that people get wrong about IV hydration?
The one thing I would say is everyone thinks the needle stays in your arm the whole time. So when you get poked with the needle goes away, a small little catheter stays in, and that's how you get your infusion.
And then Sheldon, do you guys do a bunch of events? Are you all around town?
Yes, we did the Troubadour Festival. We try to do one event a month in the Bryan College Station area.
That's great. That's why we see you everywhere. Danny, what's the best drip for somebody who's active, who thinks they're active? Weekend warrior, what's the best drip out there?
Yeah, so our overall wellness drip is our Myers cocktail. It has 6 different vitamins in it. That's what I would say for your average adult. People who are big into working out, or if they work outside a lot, I would recommend the Marine Muscle Recovery. That one has 10 different vitamins in it, and it's really geared towards recovery and removing toxins from the body.
All right, so if somebody wants to check you out, what's the website?
It is Aggieland Hydration and Injectables.com.
All right, the phone number, by the way, is 979-217-1561. It is Aggieland Hydration. Let's talk a little Aggie soccer. 5-0 win over Sam over the weekend. They've got Air Force coming up tomorrow. Bobby Shuttleworth came by studio yesterday. Here's my interview with the A&M soccer coach. Welcome back to TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Turn our attention to some Aggie soccer. Bobby Shuttleworth in studio to talk about the week that was and the week that is going to be. Bobby, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
Sorry, 4 games in, 2-2. I feel like there's been like 4 different seasons already. Like, does it feel that way for you?
Yeah, and I think it's just kind of new group, like a lot of new players, and I think we're still very much getting to know each other and figuring out our team and our players individually, and them figuring out each other, and I think we're growing.
I would assume, look, I know no coach wants to lose. I know that, right? Nobody wants to lose. But I feel like this is maybe the fun part for you of molding the clay and figuring out what this team is going to be without knowing the end result. Am I right? Like
Yeah.
you enjoyed this part of the coaching process?
Yeah, for sure. And I think you can take lessons from winning. You take lessons from losing, right? Obviously, it's easier to take those lessons from winning and still getting a result. But I think coming off of that Texas State game, we talked a lot about this group and growing from this moment and really allowing ourselves to feel this hurt. And we don't want to feel this, right? And I think it showed in our response. I think that we had a really good few days of training after that Texas State game and after that loss, and I feel like our group took a step forward, and our response was really good on Saturday.
Sometimes you need a Texas State type of game, right? Like not that you won it, but like that game, it probably taught you a lot about what this team can be and also where you need to improve.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the game, we obviously we gave away 2 set pieces and obviously a mistake at the end of the game, but we played some good stuff. We played some good stuff in possession, probably our best in terms of our connecting with each other and passing and moving and creating difficult moments for them and getting in good spaces. So, obviously a difficult loss, and especially for this program, not a game that we should be losing, right? And I said that to the girls after the game. But I thought, again, our response was really good. And then I think you saw on Saturday we continued some of those positive things, and obviously something that we've had conversations about, the things that we need to continue to do.
One other thing about the Texas State game, I'm sure to you it doesn't matter, but like they seem to be a pretty good team. Like the results are speaking for themselves, right? Does that mean anything to you, what they do against others, or no, it's just about what we do?
Yeah, I try to really just be concerned with our program and the things that we're doing and how we're trying to get better as a team. I think we felt that before we played Texas State, that this is a good team with good individual players, especially up front, good attacking players that could cause problems. We talked about that before the game. Then obviously you saw they went to Baylor and got a really good result in a tough place to play. So again, like it doesn't make you feel better about losing, but the fact that we played at Texas State and I thought we were the team that controlled most of the game, obviously didn't get the result, but looking back, it's a good team.
So I'll kind of take a departure from game stuff just to chat about something we were talking about, the heat. So I was at Veterans this weekend for the Aggie Land Classic. It was great, but it was like one of the hottest weekends I've had in my life. You were saying like it's even different than Florida's known for its heat too, right? It's different than Tallahassee.
Yeah, the weather is very similar to Tallahassee, but when it starts to get that Texas heat, you can feel that. And it's been warm lately. You can definitely, and we've got a couple. Like we have an Icelandic kid on our team, we have a Finnish kid, and they've done well adjusting to the heat. But you can tell it's like this is different gravy.
How do you adjust to the heat when obviously it can be unsafe, right? So you have to do it in like where your staff feels comfortable with it. But is it multiple times practicing in those kind of environments? Do you kind of phase it in? How does one get acclimated, I guess?
Yeah, well, we train in the morning to try to, as much as we can, limit being in the heat, and then we try to be. We're obviously not trying to brush over anything, but we're trying to be efficient on the field and not have much dead time where we're just standing around again in the heat, right? But then we make sure we're doing a good job of hydrating, recovering, sleeping. Like that's a big thing that we talk about in our program a lot. Is you can't just expect to be successful if you're just showing up for training. What are you doing the other 22 hours of the day in order to put yourself in a position to feel good the next day? So, and I think our team has done a really good job with that. Our strength coach, our athletic trainer are always constantly harping on that, our nutritionist. So again, the support from the athletic department and giving these players incredible amount of resources to be successful, and I think our team has been utilizing that.
How do you feel about your offense so far?
Good.
Yeah.
You know, I think we got some really good players up there. I think, again, work in progress, right?
Mhm.
I think in terms of our technical execution and consistency, I think when we have good consistency and in our technical execution and we're able to connect with one another, I think you see we're able to cause problems for the other team, and we're solving the game early and putting ourselves in position to receive under a minimal amount of pressure and play forward, and we're looking after the details. We can be hard to play against. And then you can see in games when we're not doing those things that we can be pretty average, right? So I think the last 2 games have started to show that we're very capable of, one, causing a lot of problems for the opposition if we're doing all the things that we need to be doing consistently.
It seems like you're getting contributions from veterans and young players as well. How nice has that been to see, both on the defensive side but offensively in this point, getting contributions from the young players, but also players who have been here growing as well?
Yeah, and I think like we have a young team, right? But like you said, I think we have some older players that can help those young players and ones that haven't experienced college soccer. But I think you're starting to see relationships and connections build, right? Like I think especially in attack, you're starting to see a little bit of like understanding of how players are going to move and understanding and being able to get in spaces quicker because you know the behavior of other players. And I think you're starting to see that especially with our front group.
And talk about Trinity specifically. I mean, she's had 5 goals in 4 games. I know I'm not probably supposed to talk about stats, but overall, she looks really good.
Yeah, she's a player. Like there's not many holes in her game, and I think even since the spring, since we got here to now, she's growing massively, and she's so coachable. Like you tell her something one time and she applies it, And I think you're seeing with her is like she's starting to add different tools and different elements of her game, and her responses and reaction, her choices of when to release the ball forward and when to go on a little bit of a dribble have been excellent, especially over the last few games. And I think as she continues to kind of catch more rhythm and our team does well, I think those things will come out more and more.
Have you learned anything about this team that you didn't maybe know with games, like maybe that you didn't know through training, through the games that you've learned? Maybe something positive?
Yeah, I think as we're growing, I think every game is a test, and then it's like we're getting the answers back, and we're seeing how we did, and then we're learning about our players a little bit more. What are their strengths? What are some of the things that we maybe didn't see from the first 2 or 3 games that we're seeing now, and then also like maybe players in different positions and responding well to being in those positions, and I think it's, I think you look at Morgan Landry as a perfect example, right? Like didn't play a role in the first few games, and then came in Baylor and had a really positive performance, and then you see now in the last 2 games like really starting to come alive and good technically and solving the game. So I think this is a process where we have so many new players that it's always going to be okay. We're learning a little bit more about our players after every single game.
Talk to me about Air Force.
Yeah, good team.
Yeah.
Undefeated right now. They've scored a lot of goals, and I think they maybe only given up 1 or 2 goals on the season. So work hard, going to be physical. They're going to try to come in here and play and be organized. So again, I think we're going to have our hands full. Luckily for us, we're at home, and I think starting on the road for the first 3 games was very difficult for our team. A lot of young players and a lot of new players, but I think having those experiences, and it was a tough time, we're better off for it now moving forward, and being able to have 4 games in a row at home, right? 1 game at a time, but obviously first one, big step forward. Now second one, we have to have a similar performance and be ready to play, but we're going to have our hands full.
Well, and I think some of these lessons, yeah, you're learning them now, but they also can be applied as the season goes on, right? Like what you had to go through initially will probably bring the team closer, and also lessons that will last for the whole season.
100%, and I think when I was looking at the schedule and we saw the first 3 games on the road, I knew it was going to be tough for our team. I knew we were going to have a lot of new players, and I knew we were going to have a young team. But I always thought we're going to be so much better for this down the road, right? And this has the ability to, regardless of what the results are, bring our group together. And I'm hoping that's where we're starting to show signs of the group really starting to unify and come together.
Bobby, appreciate you. Thanks,
you.
Man.
Appreciate you.
Bobby Shuttleworth here on TexAgs Live. All right, hopefully that continues on with Air Force on Thursday, and then, a week later, TCU. Big couple of games coming up for the A&M soccer team. We'll hit a break. We will come back
with more here on TexAgs Live. I believe Damontre Moore will be joining us. Milliken Reserve, they are a farm-to-table community in College Station. Homes, trails, farms, wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature. 2,600 acres of open space. They've got 30 miles of trails. They got beautiful homes. They're a place to connect with your family and connect with nature. Be outdoors, climb a tree, throw the ball, whatever you like to do outdoors. Why did I get an Italian accent there? Whatever you do, just go to Milliken Reserve and enjoy it. Get a Milliken Reserve Conservancy membership, and you'll be able to take advantage of all the great activities that they do there. But if you want to buy a home there, 3 great neighborhoods. The Creek, the Hollow, the Meadows. The Creek have 10-plus acre wooded estates. You got the Hollow in a private and gated community, and the Meadows that are responsive to their natural surroundings. Learn more at millikenreserve.com. That website again, millikenreserve.com. We're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Our good friend Damontre Moore joining the program. You can catch Damontre doing Cowboys coverage. You can catch him all over the place, always with a big smile on his face. What's up, Trey? How you been, bud?
I'm doing good. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Thank you, man. So, all right, I'm going to start things off with and we'll make it quick because we got some football to get into. But this whole NFL player thing, almost coming to college, maybe can play. SEC says, you've been following this, right?
Of course.
What do you think about it?
Yes. For me, it's what they say. It's a wild time in the Wild Wild West. It's a double-edged sword. Personally, I don't like it. I feel like this is fitting in with the old saying: you give somebody an inch, they'll take a quarter of a mile or a full mile, if that makes sense. And with the wild times that we're in with NIL, even I think back. Don't get me wrong, people have been holding their kids back for years, but you see it becoming a more prominent thing of like, oh, we want to reclassify our kid as a junior, as a senior, or something like that, just so they can get a potential scholarship. And it's like they found a loophole and now they're cheating it. And so I need somebody to do something about it. But on the other hand, I'm not mad at it. Like, if it's there for you to do it, go ahead and do it. But as a competitor, I think it's very insulting to the game because it's like, oh, you wasn't good enough to get drafted at this time period, or you went over there and you got a shot, but you say, whoa, 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 wait. I didn't like this. Let me go back to college. Like, if you can do it, go ahead and use it. But for me personally, as a competitor, I'm looking at people like, if I'm a guy that's at college and then you come back to campus, I'm going to kind of be honest. I'm going to make fun of you and be like, oh, you didn't make it, so you wanted to come back out here. Now you're taking food out of my mouth. And then also, if I'm a vet that's in the locker room, it's like, I'm going to look at you, and it's not that I'm going to demean you, but also I'm going to have that upper echelon so where I'm like, oh, you couldn't make it. You had to go back down there and train for another year. Well, guess what? Ain't nothing changed. You got bigger and stronger, but I ain't got bigger and stronger. So the competitive nature in me, I don't like it, but also you can't be mad at it.
Well, I also look at it from the timing perspective, Damontre, where we are a few days away from September. And let's say a player joins it because, he thought he was going to be an NFL player, didn't work out. He still has eligibility in his mind. He comes back. What does it say about the freshman who's been waiting their turn, who's been practicing as the number 2 the entire spring season, or the guy the transfer you brought in that this is your spot and you've earned that spot, and then a pro comes in and takes that spot from you?
It makes you mad. As a freshman coming in doing the work, like, it's already a wild time as it is right now, because with the transfer portal, them finding a need to go get other players that are already developed, now you're adding another monkey wrench into it. If anything, I feel like this is going to make the transfer portal go even more crazy, because guys that you thought were gone are going to come back. And now that top freshman that you had as a recruit and you promised playing time, just because the biggest recruit decided to come back to school, you might have them end up transferring. So for me, if I'm a freshman in that situation, I'm hot as fish grease. Like, it's like, bro, get up out of here. Like, you ever seen that one guy that you say after college you're still hanging around and still like here? Like, go move on with your life. Go move on with your career. And that's what I would be saying as a freshman. But also, I get it. You coming in as a rookie, you didn't get drafted where you wanted to. It's uncertain, and the NFL is not for long. So it's like, why not go back to college? Why not go make a guaranteed 6 figures where I know I can dominate? And if that's the name of the game, at the end of the day, as a player, I tell the player to always think about them. It's like Marshawn Lynch said, protect your chicken. And right now, you can't be mad at them for exposing. If anything, I'm not mad at the player for exposing the loophole. I'm more so mad at, I guess, the entity of the organization that you haven't fixed it or policed this enough to where we're not even having these issues.
Damontre, what excites you about Aggie football in 2026?
And Elko we trust. Man, he has had the snowball effect. Like I told you last year when we were talking about it constantly, you hear about all these people and saying how he's developing. Well, this year you have the most invited Aggies at the Combine. Well, guess what? That means that you were most sought out because you are doing something. You're developing in-house talent. And for us, we've gotten better. Like, we're like wine. We get better with time. To see Marcel Reed and the growth that he's had, the defensive paralysis that we have right now, I am truly excited about this season. Like, I know I say I'm excited about every season, but what he said, last season was a success. We did better. We got to the playoffs, but it's like, hey, let's keep getting better right now. So I am really excited with what Elko is doing with the program.
Damontre, let's play a game. ESPN has their top 100 players in college football. Guess how many Aggies made the list, and then guess who you think maybe made the list. Top 100 players in college football.
Top 100.
Or just tell me how many numbers you think.
I say that we got at least a solid, in top 100, I think we got at least a solid 15 15 to 20, maybe.
15 to 20 out of the top 100? That seems like a good guess. What if I were to say lower? What if I say lower than that?
If you said lower, I would say on the low end, we should have at least 8. We should have at least 8 players. It should be no lower than 8.
What if I said, you know what, even lower than that? What would you say?
I would say that's an insult and a slap in the face. But I mean, A&M historically, we don't get the credit that we do. We always, get shunned or say, "Oh, y'all are supposed to do this or do that." So, what is the number? Is it only 1?
It's 1. Number 86, Mario Craver. That's it.
Shout out to my cousin. Hey, I appreciate him and I love the individual success, but it's like Marcel Reed,
Damontre,
Yeah.
he was
Anyway.
a Heisman contender, expected to go to the podium or at least get invited to New York until the last quarter of the Texas game. I know the last game didn't go well and the fourth quarter didn't go well. I know that. But, how does that guy not make the top 100 list? It's baffling.
It's asinine sometimes. And it's just like you think about we're in the business of what have you done for me lately? And it's like lately he has the fact, but he still doesn't get the credit. I feel like with A&M players, they get credit when they're in the hype of it, but the moment that they do anything wrong, it's like, oh, we forget about them. They're yesterday's news or something like that. And it's like for him to have the success that he has as a freshman, and he's constantly had the growth of the mobility, the pocket presence of throwing, he's constantly excelled. For him not to be in the top 100, what are we doing? And this is why, as a player, what they say, see a little, see a lot, and see a lot, see a little. I hope nobody's paying attention to it. And if anything, they gave them bulletin board. If I know Elko like he is and being a competitor, yes, you want that to motivate you, but it's like, you should be insulted. You telling me this guy's not on the list? You telling me DJ Hicks is not on the list? What are we talking about? Whatever. People gonna say I'm biased, so let's just keep the facts with the facts. For a guy that potentially at one point in time throughout the year that everybody said might win the Heisman, it's like for him not to be on the top 100. Well, and if he's not on the top 100 as a defensive player, I used to always say if Gerard or Mike Evans or Ryan Swope, if those guys didn't get the accolades, Ryan Tannehill, or Johnny, what am I going to do? What do I expect? So as anybody else on the team, if Marcel's not on it, you can't be mad at it. And you'll just be like, oh, these are the politics. And, you don't get the recognition until the year afterwards.
Damontre, I'm just going to go to Ryan Swope for a second because I don't know if you and I have ever spoken about him. He is, to me, one of the top 2-3 wide receivers ever to play at A&M. But
yes, sir.
A lot of people don't talk about him, right? So from your perspective, what was Swope like? And the football player and the guy?
The guy was a great guy. Swope was a brother amongst brothers. I came in with his younger brother, Louis Swope, at the time. And Louis was a good player within his own respect. He wasn't like Ryan, but the way that Ryan interacted with his brother was how he interacted with everybody on the team. He joked, he laughed, he was there, he was personable, but also with him being personable, he was very real, and he'll have that older brother mentality dude, you're messing up. Dude, you got to stop doing this. And they'd be like, but when you're doing good, he's there. And even now to this day, you see Ryan every time he's greeting you with a smile. He's hugging you. He's talking about, man, he's proud of the success. And he's truly a selfless teammate. And that's how he was on the field to how he is now to this current day off the field. He doesn't get enough love. And so anytime that I see these old videos, shout out to Mark, because we just did a flashback of the 2013 team and reminiscing on the team. But I think that article kind of gave him and a lot of other unsung heroes their flowers in that.
Damontre, great stuff, man. I appreciate you. We'll catch up with you because we have football in 9 days? It's coming.
Yes, sir.
10 days.
9 days. It's about to happen. And, just a little teaser, man. There might be some things in the work that y'all might have to stay in tune for. So watch out for that first game.
You got it, man. Appreciate you, Damontre. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thanks and giggle.
Damontre Moore on the Bumpy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We will come back with on TexAgs today. Right now,
You know, what happens as you get older, you start thinking about questions you should have asked earlier. What was Dad really like when he was 25? What scared him? What did he learn most from his father? Why did he raise us the way he did? And that could be your dad, it could be your mom, it could be anybody. That's what I love about Heritage Films. They tell your family's story, but they get to the root of the story, the very beginning. The things that you probably have thought about asking, maybe didn't ask, or maybe you just want to have captured on video. The experiences and values that shaped life, that shaped your life and your family's life. And Chance and his team, Chance McClain at Heritage Films and their team, will turn this into an amazing produced cinematic film for your kids, for their kids, and their kids after that. Don't wait until you're left wishing, I wish I would have asked. Like, don't do that. Make sure you reach out to Chance and his team right now. YourHeritageFilm.com is the phone number. YourHeritageFilm.com, 713-893-8341. It is Heritage Films.
Relationships are built through shared experiences. A conversation before kickoff. A weekend with clients. Time spent together. That's the idea behind Game Day Suites Aggieland. Private, individually owned spaces designed for hosting, gathering, and doing business in the heart of Aggieland. Just minutes from Kyle Field. Purpose built for connection. Designed for Aggies. Game Day Suites. A place to gather. A place to connect. A place to belong.
Well, we're back. It is TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Missed. I'll pick it up, Nick. Anyway, let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Natalie, you've got what's popping on TexAgs today.
I do. So first off, we've got a Jordan Shaw article sponsored by Sleep Station. We had the press conference with Lyle Hemphill, Jordan Shaw, and Jamarian Morrow. Sorry about that. That'll be on the site as well, along with an Anto Saka huddle interview sponsored by Lightheaded Helmets. And then we'll also have a Carson Baker interview on the site today. And last but not least, we'll have a women's soccer advance leading up to their game tomorrow night against Air Force. A lot of tongue twisters there, apparently.
A lot of tongue twisters. When we come back on TexAgs Live, Jason Howell. By the way, he's probably listening because he listens a lot because he's, our friend and he works for us and it's mandatory. Anyway, his birthday was this week. So
Happy birthday.
35 years old. Actually, I don't know how old he is. I'm assuming he's younger than me. I don't know how much younger. So we'll talk to Jason on the other side about recruiting, about his birthday. I'm sure he partied, you know what. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way.
We are back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Recruiting Country, brought to you by America Momentum Bank, the only privately owned bank headquartered in Bryan College Station. They're committed to helping our community prosper by offering you a wide array of both personal and business banking solutions, specifically designed to help build financial success with confidence and momentum on your side. Let's go to the Bumpy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Favorite Dolly Parton song? Jason Howell, do you have one? If you say 9 to 5, you're out. Huh?
I think you just played it coming in.
Yeah.
Jolene, I mean, it's hard not to love that one. I love 9 to 5. I'm not going to sit here and say I knew her whole catalog or anything, but you can't help but love Dolly Parton and everything that, man, what an icon and what a sad day.
Yeah. Hey, Jason, it's kind of weird to go to a happy thought after a sad thought. Probably should have reversed it. But what'd you do for your birthday, buddy? And happy birthday here.
Well, thank you. Today, I don't know. Don't really have a ton of plans. I'm going to make Christine take me out to a steak dinner. I'm pretty sure that's on the schedule. But other than that, man, just trying to knock out some work, get prepped for the weekend. Always got recruiting news to talk, and I wouldn't want to spend it anywhere else than Recruiting Country, talking ball with David Nuno.
Well, let's kind of talk about something that isn't recruiting, but it has a trickle-down effect. This whole NFL player thing, I know you've got some thoughts on it. It looks like the SEC's put a stop to it. I know you have some thoughts on it because it does have a trickle-down effect that affects the high school guys too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys pretty much nailed it throughout the show. I heard, talking to Chris Gordy and some of the other guests. I think the SEC made the appropriate move, of course, and once you sign that contract, once you go to camp with an NFL team, it's you can't come back. It just doesn't work that way, and I think it's absurd that we have to come up with these rules, but. That 5 for 5 kind of opens it up, and that's kind of what we're at. And I don't know. There's a part of me. I guess the one thing that I'd really throw down would be there used to be something about the spirit of a rule, even if it didn't. Explicitly state you had to do this, and this. It was kind of understood. This is. To protect the integrity of the game, and I think we've ventured so far off the road when it comes to college sports and college football, and when a guy like Lane Kiffin's saying stuff like hey. I don't know what the direct quote was, but it was something to the fact of, hey, somebody's going to do it, might as well be me, and it's like. Well, no, man. That's why we need strong leadership in these positions to step up and say, no, this isn't going to work. And anyways, that's my thoughts. I think right now things are on track. But again, I think, the lawyers are going to get involved and we'll see some injunction or whatever. And the issue will be pressed. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. As far as the recruiting side of it, it just takes an opportunity away from one of those guys down that roster that's trying to get one of their, 5 years in. When some of these COVID guys and have seen 6, 7 years. 8 years with the different eligibility loopholes that have been jumped through, and it's give somebody else the opportunity. You've had your chance.
I'm talking to Jason Howell here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. All right, Jason, we've got some games to get ready for, right? Some A&M commits are going to start playing this weekend.
Well, actually, they started last weekend. Okay. We had 13 commits over 6 states that were in action, and 12 games. So, yeah, that's a lot of work, man. Yeah, they and A&M the commits they handled business to a large degree. Went 8-4 and several blowout performances. You had 2 receivers going over 100 yards. You had defensive linemen with multiple sacks or tackles for loss. Linebacker Caden Henderson. If you haven't seen some of his early clips, obviously his stuff from last year really spectacular. Earned him the ranking, 5-star top linebacker in the country. But you watch him this year, and it's just another step in in the right direction. He shows everything. Just a very incredibly violent player on the field. He's coming off the edge. He's playing in space. He's, working the middle of the field. He does it all, and he had a phenomenal game. The one that I would say surprised me was Earl Kearns from Lawrence Central. Athlete being recruited in that, secondary. He had 117 yards on 3 carries with a kickoff return. I think it was 81 yards for a score. He played linebacker, nickel, and cornerback throughout the game. And, of course, I think he only had like 1 tackle and 1 pass breakup or something, but his opponent did not want to deal with him on the defensive side of the ball, so they were kind of skewing things around. And, as you can see, Lawrence Central was moving him around, trying to get him involved as possible, and they come out with a big win. But it was a big weekend. And this weekend we have the UIL Friday Night Lights coming back into action. We get a lot of fun action in the state of Texas.
How many games? You only got to cover 1, right? Am I right about that?
Yeah, I stayed here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. The private schools kicked things off. They did a really good job taking advantage of the last scrimmage week of UIL, and they decided let's put some of our power programs up against each other. And you had some really awesome showcases. I was in Fort Worth at All Saints as they took on Parish Episcopal. These are 2 teams that routinely they're in the running, or they're in the state championship game year in, year out. And both rosters full of talent. There were 3 Texas A&M prospects in the game, all in the 2029 class. You had, for All Saints, you had Carson Campbell, offensive lineman, and Noah Tarrant, tight end. And then on the other side, you had Logan Lucero, who a big quarterback for Parish Episcopal. And you knew it was going to be there was going to be quite a bit of action. There's plenty of talent on the field beyond those guys. Some of the guys who really caught my attention were guys I think we could eventually see on A&M's radar. But All Saints was able to pull out a 31-11 win, separated early. Of those targets, Noah Tarrant was definitely the standout. 2 touchdowns. He's 6'4", 215-pound tight end. Was offered, I think, as an 8th grader by A&M, and has a host of offers from across the country. But he had a big 78-yard touchdown run, catch and run, and it just a spectacular effort. And his debut at All Saints. So, it was a great night, and I got to see 2 really good teams face off. And I got a feeling we'll be hearing from both of those squads later in the year as they make their way through the playoffs.
Jason, I know that you've touched on a bunch of these games, but who had some of the big wins? Who are some teams that they really benefited from this to their start?
I was impressed with IMG coming out with Lone Peak is a strong program out there in Utah, and IMG dominated from beginning to end, 59-3, and you saw both McFarland and Zyron Forstall get off to quick starts. I think McFarland had over 100 yards on 8 receptions. And Forstall was in that backfield time and time again. I don't think he had a sack, but he had a couple couple tackles for loss, I think, and was just constantly getting pressure in there, making things happen from his edge position there. But IMG, and then I got to look at that Lawrence Central game. Emphatic 67-20 win over Jeffersonville, a team that's trying to get on track and get off to a hot start. And I thought they had a really great show, and of course Kern's doing what he did. In a losing effort, I'd also go up to St. Ignatius there in Cleveland. They had a 1-point loss to Avon. And in a game that they weren't supposed to show very strong. Again, this is a team that's historically they've done really well, but they've fallen on hard times. And Trey Haddad is doing his part as a captain in that program to help lift that program. And they went tooth and nail and nearly pulled out the W. I know there's no moral victories, I'm sure, in that St. Ignatius program, but it's good to see them compete that way, and it's something they can definitely build on.
Reset for me. How many commits played last weekend?
You had 13 commits over 12 games.
Okay. So, and we'll get into what this week's going to look like here in a second, but I'm assuming that number is going to go quite a bit because now really most of the country is going to start now, right?
Yeah, every school, but I think 2 will be in action. Well, 3. I think Westgate maybe starts first weekend of September, so 2028 Edge, Chance Archangel won't be in action, but you've got Damontre Warren, whose team has played 2 games already, and Frederick Ards, who they started last week playing in California. Now they get a week off to recover as they start their season in Florida. But yeah, everybody else is going to be in action. So across all the classes, both classes, 27 and 28, you'll have all but 3 guys, I think, going and getting to business.
Talking to Jason Howell here on TexAgs Live. It is Recruiting Country, brought to you by American Momentum Bank. All right, Jason, where are you going to be this weekend? Where's Bronny going to be? What are the assignments?
Well, so let's see. I'm starting the week off Thursday night. I'm going to go out and see Keller Central take on Plano West. See those Taylor twins. I got to see them a little bit during precinct, go through some practice there. Now I get to see them in live game action. Excited to see those 2 compete on both sides of the ball out there. And then I will be out in Forney to see Lake Highlands take on those Jackrabbits and see stud linebacker in that 2028 class go to work, and one of our top guys that we're looking to see, and just excited to see him get all over the field and make plays from his linebacker position. So Israel Samuel, I was blanking on his name there. I try and do that sometimes. I get caught up with you blank on a name. I'm feeling like Olin over there. Maybe it's my birthday age showing.
Hey, Jason, so just a reminder for folks who are into this recruiting, and I know most of you are, go become a premium subscriber. Like if you're trying to figure out what's going on, Jason already had a post a couple days ago with every commit, Jace Johnson, Trey Haddad. Is it Haddad or Haddad?
I think it's Haddad, but I'm probably wrong. He told me, and it's been too long. I need to...
Well, you've got.
I need to, yeah.
You've got everybody's schedule, right? You got Jace Johnson, Trey Haddad, Eric McFarland, Zyron Forstall, Jaden Upshaw, Damontre Warren, Holden Niemi. Sorry, Niemi.
Niemi.
Niemi. Yeah, I made him Italian. Kennedy Brown, Demarion Johnson. Okay, I don't need to read everybody, but you got every schedule on there. Go become a premium subscriber. You can see that because you have it all broken down there. I would assume that took forever to put together, Jason.
It's mainly I'm a stickler. I'm I guess just perfectionist or whatnot. I try and get it just the way I like it for when I post. So that takes more time than collecting all the data. But yeah, wanted to try and put that out there where everybody could see it. I posted it in the long form as well. Of course, we've got the post that's on the board. It's not tagged, so maybe the best, easiest way to find it will be go to the long form, which this week we highlighted 10 games throughout the Texas high school football schedule that Texas A&M fans are going to want to pay attention to, locked into for those Texas A&M commits. And you check that out, and then you can find that schedule and see what's happening. But a lot of action this weekend. It should be a lot of fun.
And as I'm scanning through this, I know you talked about some of this, but Zyron Forstall, you had some updates during the game, right? 2 tackles, 1 solo, 1 assist, 1 tackle for loss, 3 quarterback hurries. Kamari Dorsey, 3 receptions, 30 yards, 10 tackles, 4 solos, 6 assists, and an interception. Like, I mean, you're
I tell you, we try and do that. We try and get that out during the week, and then game weekend, sometimes it gets pushed to Sundays because Saturdays get crazy. We want everybody to get their shine, but we try and highlights, stats. We've been in touch with a lot of the kids, their coaches, whatnot, trying to collect as much data as possible this year. We're going to do our best to get that out there, and as soon as we get stuff, we're posting it. We had a live thread throughout the weekend. We'll do the stats and highlights on probably Sunday as official stats are being released, and we try and continue to update that at least through the early part of the week because some of these stats don't become official until, or don't get released until later in the next week, I guess. But I tell you what, if you're looking for some highlights to check in on, Jaden Upshaw, I tweeted about it on Sunday. He had over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown, a 2-point conversion. And the first play on his highlight reel is him blocking some dude through the back of the end zone. It was incredible. I mean, you love to see that kind of grit. And that being the first play just kind of embodies what the mentality of this recruiting class is, the program under Mike Elko. It's grit. It's hard work. It's, putting in the work and putting your head down, and it's all that. And I thought Jaden Upshaw, you got the highlight reel receptions, and you get the grit, nasty block through the end zone from a wide receiver, and then of course one guy we didn't get stats on, Elijah Patman. Go watch his clips from the last 2 weeks. There was a scrimmage. And then there was last week where he's playing D-line and offensive line, and he is putting dudes in the dirt. Patman, we talked about those D linemen. We don't talk about them enough, especially those D tackles. And Patman is, he was the Elite 12 or whatever from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution for a reason. One of the best 12 players in the state. I think A&M led the way with 3 guys on that list, including Upshaw and Patman, and of course Kamari Dorsey. But Patman, we don't talk about him enough. And if you can't find something to like in those clips, I don't know what to tell you. You're just not a fan of fun physical football.
All right, when we come back, let's talk about the 10 high school football games for Aggies to keep an eye on. Your long form, we'll get into some of those games. You said you're going to get a steak tonight, but if you change your mind, I'm going to recommend something for you because I'm sure there's a Bubba's 33 in the Metroplex. Go get that burger, dude. I don't know if you've been to Bubba's yet. Yeah. The burger's really good. No. All right.
Okay, I have to check it out.
Check out the burgers there. So, by the way, they have late night bites, you name it. This kind of menu favors for late night cravings, available from 9 to 11. And they have it also Sunday through Thursday and 10 p.m. to 12 on Friday and Saturday. They don't need a happy hour there because every day's got a drink special. $5 drink specials all day, every day. Burgers $10.99 on Mondays, Tuesdays, you've got the $11.99 pizza. And then remember, with Aggie football just a week away, you've got TVs, wall-to-wall, the sound, everything when you go to Bubba's. So if you don't have a ticket to the game, you can go hang out with all your favorite Aggie friends and have a great meal with it, too. Wall-to-wall TVs at Bubba's 33 in Highway 6 in College Station, on Highway 6 in College Station. Everyone, David Nuno here for Allen Honda. Had a great conversation with them earlier today. John Allen's the owner. He's been here forever. And also their GM, Rusty Skinner, great guy. Wonderful conversation. They're super local. They're a family-owned dealership, not some massive auto group. And they treat their customers like family because they basically are family. They're Aggie alums. They love Aggie sports. And they've been serving the Brazos Valley with integrity, with passion, and commitment to excellence for over 50 years, which is very rare, by the way, for the independents because people trust them. And that's why they've been doing it for such a long time. Whether you're looking to buy, lease, or service your vehicle, you can count on them for transparent, no pressure experience that puts your needs first. And I can attest to it. Had a great conversation about my own situation with them. Their knowledgeable sales team will help you find the perfect Honda to fit your lifestyle, from fuel-efficient sedans to versatile SUVs. Leasing options are flexible and affordable, making it easy to drive the latest models with confidence. And when it comes to service, their certified technicians only use genuine Honda parts to keep your vehicle running at its best, whether it's routine maintenance for major repairs or whatever it may be. And we know that trust isn't given, it is earned, and that's why generations of local drivers right here in the Brazos Valley and Bryan College Station keep coming back to Allen Honda. As part of the community with Aggie spirit in their hearts, they are here to make everyone's visit wonderful. So visit their showroom or their service lane and find friendly, efficient, and memorable situations when you go to Allen Honda. Come see why so many College Station and Bryan drivers choose Allen Honda for their automotive needs, and remember, gig 'em. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studios. So Jason has his long-form 10 Texas high school football games for Aggie fans to keep an eye on. And we can go through some of these games, Jason, just kind of work our way through it. Do you want to start off with the one at Austin Westlake with a team from California coming in?
Yes, that team featuring Miles Smith. And I didn't mention it because I was stumbling looking for my linebacker's name from Lake Highlands. But this is where Bronny's going to be on Friday night. So make sure and tune in. Ryan Broninger will be doing excellent work as always and knocking out the coverage as Miles Smith, Texas A&M commit, comes to Texas to take on Austin Westlake and future Longhorn offensive lineman Jackson Cook, one of the top offensive linemen in the state. So we're going to get to see Miles Smith go up against a really, tough matchup. Smith already has a game under his belt, so they get the win over Los Alamitos over the weekend, and he is coming off a 9-tackle, 4-tackle for loss performance. So he's primed and ready to get out there and heat up the quarterback. And I got a feeling Jackson Cook's going to be energized to go up against a future rival in Miles Smith. So throw in the fact that there's always talent on both teams, and you've got a must-see matchup. And for Texas A&M fans, seeing a guy from the West Coast come into Texas, it'll be your only opportunity to see him up close and personal before he hits A&M. Possibly, maybe he plays in one of the All-American games, and we get to see him in San Antonio or something. But this will be the first and chance in a long time to see him get to work out there in Austin.
All right, so Demarion Johnson, Tyler Legacy, they take on Tyler High. So we'll get to see that on September the 4th.
Yeah, this is one of those it's one of those East Texas bloodbaths. These teams, there's a lot of crosstown hatred. There's a lot of pride on the line here. And this was a big win for Tyler Legacy squad that didn't have a whole lot of success last year, but they have some talent coming back. And this is a game that I know they're looking to see a repeat performance last year where they were able to get the win. Demarion Johnson headlines the A&M side, but you also have Kadarius McMiller, running back commit to Oregon, and Trey Harrelson, SMU commit at wide receiver for Tyler High. So you've got some big time talent on both sides, and it should be a lot of fun. These are there's pride on the line, East Texas intensity, and familiar foes. All these guys know each other. They'll probably see each other Sunday in church after the game. So it'll be there's a lot on the line here.
September the 10th, Waxahachie at Denton Guyer, Jaquan Snell getting an opportunity there.
Yeah, and this is the first of 3 Waxahachie games I put on the on the slate. I love that they're primed to contend for a state championship. They're a very popular pick as a state finalist, state championship contender this year. And Jaquan Snell is a big reason for that. But they are going to be battle tested before they get into the playoffs. This is a Thursday night matchup, so this will be a headliner on a Thursday night, an early week game, and give you a look at you got Snell, you got Zane Rowe and Kyron Haywood and Logan Loki on the Guyer side, and a lot of offensive weapons for both teams. I know there's a Jayshon Creighton who A&M has offered. There's a Kentorian King has gone viral, Waxahachie receiver that committed to Colorado State, that showed an explosive catch and run this last weekend in a scrimmage against Midlothian Heritage. But there's a lot of offensive weapons for both these teams. Both quarterbacks hold D1 offers. Waxahachie's is committed to South Carolina, and then you've got a 28 at Guyer that's already attracting some high level attention as well.
All right, let's do one more before we got to drop it here. September 24th, Cy Falls versus Cy Fair. We've got Caden McCarty going at it.
Yeah, let's talk about the Cypress ISD battle. This is a great opportunity for Cy Falls and Caden McCarty to take that the reins on a district championship run at and Cy-Fair is always one of those big hurdles you're going to have to get over if you want to claim that title, because they're going to be right there. They're always talented, always well coached, and it's just going to be one of those matchups that you're going to have to fight to the end. And a September matchup could really set the table for what's to come, especially for Cy Falls team. Of course, Cade McCarty, he's going to bring it. That twitchy edge threat that is one of the sack masters in Texas high school football ranks. He's one of those guys that we saw him set the school record for sacks last year, and I'm sure he's aiming to better that number this fall. So he's going to heat it up, and this will be a great one to see him in action with a lot on the line.
Jason, great stuff, brother. Appreciate your time, man.
Anytime. Make sure to check out the rest of that long form. There's so many great matchups. I couldn't contain it to 10. I cheated, made it 11.
Way to go, bro. Appreciate you, Jason. Talk to you later. That's
see you, man.
The great Jason Howell on TexAgs Live on the Bubby's Catering and Bartending Hotline. When we come back, Bob Sturm, 1310 The Ticket. I think they still call it 1310. I know they got an FM station there too now. They're The Ticket. He's the best. We'll talk to Bob on the other side. When it comes to your money, your peace of mind, it starts with the right team. That right team is Paragon Financial Advisors, an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No commissions, no sales pitches, just trusted advice tailored to you. They have a team of 18 professionals, 9 CFPs, a CFA, and a CPA, and their expertise does run deep. And at Paragon, credentials matter, and so does your future. Visit paragon-adv.com or call them up 979-693-3907 to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors. Integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal, or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar. I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going? You use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst.
We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Our friend Bob Sturm from The Ticket in Dallas joining us to break it down. You can catch his work on the hard line 3 to 7, and he does 1,000 other jobs. Bob, good morning. How are you, sir?
Hey, how's it going? Great to be back.
Hey, so I probably told you this before, but if I haven't, you know that you played a role in my career, right? Do you know that?
I don't think I do. Tell me about it.
So when I moved to Dallas in 1999, I was a banker, the world's worst banker, okay? And
okay.
I was a Houston guy, but I would listen to The Ticket religiously. And I became a huge ticket head. And I remember thinking, God, they're having so much fun. I got to go do that one day. And that was in 99. I think I'm older than you, Bob. It's weird that I'm looking up to you. But that being said, you guys, all of you, the whole crew back in the day, and whenever I'm in town, I still listen. You guys are the best, man.
Well, thank you so much. No, it's unbelievable to have been able to be part of this radio station, and it's frankly unbelievable to be in the same job I was in 1998. So time flies. We're still watching football. We're still kind of doing our thing, but it's amazing. The ticket farm system of people we've inspired in the business, and every single one of them is very flattering. So thank you.
I'm just for reminiscing. If I remember correctly, it was the Musers, then was it Del Hansen, and then was it? Hold on, I'm missing one. Norm Hitchkus, then Bob and Dan, then the hard line. Or am I wrong?
You know what? Bob and Dan, well, I mean, the day parts, okay. So Norm was 10 to noon, but he didn't start till after we did because he was upstairs at Cliff. And so then he came downstairs. Yeah, Dale would take our noon hour Mondays and Fridays, which we hated, but he was Dale, so we obviously knew the benefits of it. And then, old Mike and Greg in afternoon drive. So honestly, we've kept most of the team together, which is crazy because radio is not the most stable industry going right now. But if you can go from your mid-20s to your mid-50s at the same gig, I suppose you got to be pretty happy in sports media. So I'm okay.
So muscle memory, and we'll get into some college football here. I still think of it as 13-10 the ticket in my head. It's ingrained as 13, but it's now you guys mostly go by 96.7 the ticket or just the ticket?
I mean, yeah, honestly, we probably go mostly by the app these days. I also go 1310, but man, you want to talk about what is the date of birth cutoff for knowing what AM radio is or have touched AM radio in the last, year of your life. I'm not positive new cars are totally equipped for AM. So, it's going to sound like 8-track tapes or record players before long, although I suppose record players at least have come back somewhat into hipster fashion, but I don't think AM radio will.
Hey, all right, so let's talk some college football. With A&M specifically, yeah. I understand the questions people have because I have similar questions. Where I think I struggle with it is like the Marcel Reed hate that I think he gets. This top 100 list from ESPN today had one Aggie on that list, just Mario Craver. I struggle with that, and I'm wondering, is it because they lost so many guys to the NFL, or is it because it's A&M? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's because it's A&M, and that's still frustrating. That we'll know, I suppose, when the Aggies become, one of those football factories that get the benefit of the doubt, but we're not there yet, right? Close. The last 2 seasons have been tremendous progress and have certainly made people into more believers of the program. And I'm talking about neutrals or even, you could say, anti-A&M folks. And there are a few of those out there. But, it feels like the benefit of the doubt is something that is obviously a moving target and an unfair one. And the type of thing that puts Notre Dame in the top 5 of every preseason poll probably. And that goes back to our grandfathers, I suppose. But, it's a deal where they have to sort of prove concept every single year, and they have to do more after Thanksgiving. And both of those things, it's good that we're at that point in the program, because a couple years ago we were dying to get to that point of the program, but now you're there, and that's the new dragon to slay. And that's I love talking to Elko about these things, because you just never, especially as he put it, with an empty trophy case, you can just never feel like we've arrived anywhere. So that's where they are, and it sounds like they embrace it, but yeah, there's trepidation for more than one reason on several fronts, and that's the game, right?
I don't want to put words in your mouth, so I'll just ask. I know what my questions are for this A&M team, and I think they can be answered rather quickly. What are your questions?
Well, yeah, it's honestly finding more ways to win football games, and for me, I felt so good about the offensive line for huge stretches of the Elko regime, and obviously to lose that much of the offensive line gives me pause. It just does. I'm not that worried about Marcel Reed, honestly, because I think most Marcel Reed performances for me have been good enough, and at times spectacular, at other times still passing grades. Obviously the Miami game's going to stick with us for a while. The Texas game was one that was certainly thrown off with that knee scare, and so if you're fair to the guy, and I know college football isn't about fairness, but if you're fair to the guy, I think Marcel Reed's not a massive concern at all. Where you do have to look, obviously, is, as you pointed out, they put so many dudes in the draft, and a lot of them are along that defensive front, and it's just questions. It's just guys we don't know, and obviously Elko knows how to acquire talent and how to stack it and scheme it. But now we need to see it, and we need to see it hold up against the run, because I was just watching the Texas A&M game this week for a project I'm doing on Arch, and it wasn't Arch. Obviously he made some plays in that game, but that game comes down to stopping the run. Mm-hmm. The Miami game comes down to stopping the run. And so as you get further into the season, and as line of scrimmages give you more fits, and as you wear down with attrition, can you still stop the run and really make teams deal with what you have off the edge? And so, those are my questions. The last one would be, can you generate takeaways on a more consistent basis? Because that's the true coin of the realm, if you will. The true currency of football is always going to be giveaways and takeaways. And if you can protect the football, you're playing with a downhill field. And if you can take away the football, the sport becomes so incredibly easier to navigate, and the Aggies just didn't take the ball away enough last year. They had a lot of chances, and they fell through their fingers at times. But that's the opportunistic last piece of the defensive puzzle is taking that ball away, setting up short, easy scores where you can turn a tight game into a 2-score game, with the blink of an eye.
Bob, what I find so interesting is those questions about A&M and these teams that are maybe 9-3, 8-4, maybe 10-2. You could say a lot of the same questions for Oklahoma, Alabama, LSU. So when you look at these other programs that are close, do you see the same questions?
Yeah, I would say so. It's weird, man. Following the sport. Obviously, I make most of my reputation, I suppose, in covering the NFL. And the NFL does have what feels like stable. It's the NFL, so I'm obviously overstating it, but it does feel a little more continuity year to year, is that the Chiefs still have Patrick Mahomes, and they still have Andy Reid, and they still have this and that, and you can kind of count on that, and the Rams still have Stafford and McVay, and Shanahan and Purdy are over in San Francisco, and Jordan Love and LaFleur up in Green Bay, and so when you have those stability items, you feel like the guesswork is a little less. College football, clearly, as we are entering 2026, and even the developments of yesterday, literally yesterday, where we're finding out no, LSU is not going to grab a couple guys off NFL rosters. We don't believe until maybe today's news is that a court. College football is its own animal right now, but it does feel like when you follow more than one program, and I totally recommend that for people. You don't have to love another program, but sometimes it's good just for your mental anxiety is to just follow more than your myopic view of one program and just find out, oh, they're dealing with this too. Oh, they have injuries here. They have attrition. They've had, turnover. And if you do that, and obviously in the NFL, I follow Green Bay and Dallas, because I was born up there, and it's just, it's my hobby. And then I have my career in following the Cowboys. And that really helps me because you can cross-reference and see, oh, this isn't just a Dallas issue, except Jerry Jones. That's just a Dallas issue. But everything else is kind of shared. In college football now, it feels a little more random, and maybe that's great. Maybe everybody loves that. But for those of us who are supposedly paid to offer insight, you do feel like you're starting kind of fresh every Labor Day and trying to find, oh, okay, I didn't know about this situation, because there is some real massive overhauls every single year in the standings, it feels like now, and maybe that's just the new normal.
Bob, before I let you go, what do you think about these professionals trying to be college players again based on the 5-and-5 rule? Some would argue, and we got a guy in the chat that does this, that says, well, you're a professional athlete in college now anyway. You're getting paid to play, so what's the difference?
What is the difference? Honestly, the closer I, see these two levels of football merge, the more I do ask, what is the principal difference that makes it, what it is? But I do think we have to have, some very clear boundaries. I know the WNBA right now is trying to establish and define boundaries of a totally different sort, but it's got to be the same thing in college and pro football. Either you're a professional or you go to a institution of higher learning, and it can't be both. So yes, you're right. The NIL, frankly, the salary cap or the payrolls and the general managers of these college programs certainly have blurred the lines, but we have to at least have you register for classes to know that you are, in fact, a college student and not a professional. And once you cross that line and enter the draft and stay in the draft or sign a professional contract, I just think it's done and dusted. I don't care how much eligibility you have left. You crossed over the bridge and you can't turn around. And so I totally agree with the ruling. I thought that was absolutely nonsense. But at the same time, so much of college football feels nonsensical these days. And I don't know when it's ever going to settle down. Maybe it just is going to continue to evolve to a point where it literally is the NFL at level 2 or something. I don't know if they merge together and it's like English soccer, but let's hope not. As much as I like English soccer, I like football with some boundaries, and the difference between college and pro is beautiful, and let's keep it that way. Let's not continue to merge these two levels.
Bob, you're the best, man. Thanks for making time. We'll do it during the season, all right?
I look forward to it. Can't wait for the season to go.
Thank you. That's the great Bob Sturm on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. Final segment here, kind of digest, and there's a chat on the YouTube page that I was like, huh? So we'll get into that when we come back on TexAgs Live. And we're back. In case you missed it, ladies and gentlemen, Sydney Clevenger, hello.
Hi.
Kayla Dreyer, hello.
Hello.
What did I miss this week? Did I miss anything?
Yeah, so I want to start out with Texas Tech's new uniforms that they unveiled. Have you seen them?
Nah, I don't look at other people's clothes.
Okay, so this was shown on Twitter. It's called the Patrick Mahomes Let's Ride uniform. So it actually has Mahomes on the back of the helmet.
No, it has him, like a picture of him, like
you can see it spelled out. It says Mahomes.
Oh, okay.
I think it's kind of crazy. Some people were in the comments saying it would be like having a uniform with Manziel on it.
I mean, again, though, people complain, like, the amount of outrage I saw for the A&M alternate unit, like, I think it looks cool. Whatever. I mean, I wouldn't want Manziel or Nuno on the back of a helmet. Like, I just, that unless I'm a sponsor.
Right. I just feel like that was a little interesting. I don't think I've seen anyone else do that before.
Yeah.
But I do want to continue on with the uniforms.
Okay.
So the NFL released some of their rivalry uniforms. I personally think the Texans are the best. I might be a little bit biased, but they are awesome.
I like how the blue is almost Columbia blue, but not quite Columbia blue. And what I mean by that, you know what I mean by that? You know what Columbia blue is?
Like the lighter blue?
It's the Oilers
Yes,
color.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's almost the Oilers color, but it's not. Like,
some
it's
people
close.
are saying that they're trying to look like the Titans.
No,
which
the Titans.
The Titans are trying to look like the Oilers and
And that's our team.
Yes.
I really like these. I mean, nothing can look bad when you have Will Anderson Jr. modeling them.
Oh, we're a Will Anderson Jr. fan.
Big
are we?
fan.
Yeah, of what, his ability to get after the quarterback?
Oh, yeah.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay.
So the main thing that I did want to say about these rivalry uniforms
I didn't
is
think we were going
that
to do that today.
people are making fun of the Jaguars uniforms because they're saying that the pants look like the Lululemon
Oh, wow.
leggings because
Wow.
they are full cheetah print pants and they look exactly like the Lulu leggings.
That's pretty funny. That's Bold City. Is that what they're called now, too? What's the other thing they go by? They go by another city. Duval. What?
Yeah.
Is it Duval section? Nobody knows. Not even they don't even know. All right.
Okay, moving on. We know Natalie mentioned that Lil Wayne has a son playing high school football, but another artist's son is playing, Luke Bryan. His son,
Oh, yeah, he had a big weekend.
His son is a high school quarterback. His name's Bo Bryan. He's a 3-star, actually, Battleground Academy in Tennessee. And he was playing against a team coached by Phillip Rivers, and they were killing them. Are you a Luke Bryan fan, by chance?
He's got one or two. I mean,
I agree.
I like him. I wouldn't like jam him out.
Yeah.
He's a likable.
More
person.
of a Lil Wayne fan?
Much more.
Me too.
Hey, hold on. You just continue on. I'm going to show you history. All right, just so you know. Go
History of Out and About Nuno?
ahead. No, I'm not going to show you that one. That one's going to stay in the vault for a little while.
While you do that, I'll move on. So reportedly, Ole Miss recent.
Read what I've recently searched.
Oh, Lil Wayne. Okay, Lil Uzi Vert. Wow.
Hey, can you read that one?
Mm-mm. I'm not even gonna try.
Verano sin ti. We got 20 seconds, so we'll continue on the rewind. What else?
Okay, quickly. Ole Miss had the FBI come sweep the facility for bugging devices after Lane Kiffin left.
That's great. I think they should.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
everybody should do that. No stealing of state secrets.
Maybe we should do that.
We maybe already do. There is
I'm
a
not
camera
gonna know.
everywhere here.
That is true.
We do read your browser history. That's it. What? Just saying. I don't know. Luke? Anyway, that'll do it for TexAgs Live. We'll see you tomorrow, I promise.